Bienvenidos a la Junta de Supervisores. Welcome to the Board of Supervisors en español. We want our Spanish-speaking residents to have more access to county government in their own language, and Spanish live translation can make that possible in person and remotely. Un grupo de intérpretes están en vivo en la reunión de la Junta de Supervisores traduciendo simultáneamente. Usted puede ver, escuchar y participar en persona o por internet de esta reunión los martes. For those who come in person and want to listen in, headsets are available at the Clerk of the Board reception. Aquellos que vienen y desean escuchar la reunión, tenemos disponibles audífonos en el vestíbulo de la oficina del secretario de la Junta. And for those who want to tune in, a Spanish live stream is available on RivCo.org. Aquellos que desean sintonizarnos pueden hacerlo a través del portal RivCo.org. Los intérpretes también están listos para traducir cualquier comentario del público en el podio o por teléfono. Interpreters are available and ready to translate any comments from the public at the podium or via phone. Board meeting agendas and minutes are published in Spanish on RivCo.org. Las agendas y minutos de la reunión de la Junta de Supervisores son publicadas en español en RivCo.org. Queremos saber de usted y que se entere de todo lo que pasa en el gobierno del condado de Riverside en su propio idioma. We want your participation in Riverside County Government.
When we hand out these awards, we're going to hand it to the awards. Here. Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, let's try that one again. Good morning. Much better, much better. So we're calling this meeting to order for the June 23rd Board of Supervisors meeting, and we'll begin with roll call. Well, missing a couple folks here. We will move on to, is our visitor here today? Okay, we'll start with our visitor.
Am I on? There I am. Hi, good morning. My name is Chelsea Godfrey. I'm with Animal Services. I've brought Belle here today. She's an 8-year-old German Shepherd mix. And while she's a little bit more mature in age, not old, just mature in age, she has plenty of energy. I took her to the play yard yesterday for a couple hours, and she would run at me full speed, but slide into belly rubs. So if you can picture it, she's running and she's just plopping over. So while she's 8, she has plenty of energy, plenty of life to live. She's available at our Riverside shelter. Her adoption fee is completely waived. She's already spayed, and she has all of her vaccines are up to date. Most of our adoption fees are waived, include spay or neuter, microchipping, age-appropriate vaccines, and even an engraved name tag. So if you are looking for a new pet or you're interested in Belle, please visit our shelter over on Van Buren or any of the other shelters that we have throughout the county. Thank you. Come on.
I hope we find a forever home today. We have found forever homes for many of our visitors that we have on every meeting. So thank you for being here and sharing. Okay, we are going to begin as we always do with invocation. Today is led by Brett Sherrick from the Volunteer Chaplain, Riverside County Fire Department. And our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Michelle Paradise.
Good morning, everybody. Would you please bow your heads with me? Father, we just come before thee, and Lord, we lift this day up to you. Lord, we don't know what this day may hold. We don't know what might lie ahead, but Lord, I'd ask as things go on here in this room, in this gathering, Lord, that you would give wisdom and discernment to our Board of Supervisors as they may make decisions on different things. And for those who bring forth their petitions, their requests, Lord, that you would just allow the board to have ears to hear what's being said. And that for those who are bringing them forth, Lord, that they would also be respectful for this board. And even if the decisions don't go the way they want them to go, that they would still be respectful of it, of that decision. And Lord, we ask that you would be with all those in our community in all that they do and all that goes on throughout their day, especially for those who are out there protecting and serving in our communities, that you'd bring them all home safely. So again, we thank you for today. We thank you for you being here. And Lord, for whatever comes up, let us just be prepared for that. In your Son's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. It is my honor to say the pledge. Let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hold on. Turn your mic off.
Okay. We're going to begin presentations, but I'm going to start with just a verbal one. And that is, as Mr. Gutierrez just noticed, there's a different flag up here. This is in honor of our 250th anniversary of our country becoming a country. And I got several other things, but I'm going to have Sarah Franco share with us some of the things that the county, and I'll have a couple more department ones that are doing in honor of the birthday.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to share, Chair Spiegel. Good morning, board members, Mr. Van Wagen and Mr. Tran. To commemorate our 250th anniversary, and with the help of our facilities management team, the flags that you see displayed behind the board, as well as the one that will be flying in front of our building, will also be illuminating our entryway of this building and the Riverside Historic Courthouse for the entire month of July, and we'll be displaying a giant American flag on the face of this building that faces the 91 freeway. So we're looking forward to celebrating the significant anniversary with our community. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have several departments, and I know the board received. The library system's been working on a project, and they have bags, and every library will have some significant recognition of the birthday. I know our fire units have the sticker on them all, which has the flag with the 250th. We have many other departments. I did challenge coins, so I've been giving them out throughout the meetings. And there's so many other things going on. I hope your cities are. I do know that the next couple of weekends have been very busy. Last weekend was also, Eastvale did their picnic in the park, and we have many more that are adding parades and other events to their July 4th festivities, and some of them who've never had festivities are having them now in honor of our country's birthday. So I'm really excited that this is something that is happening throughout our county. I've challenged people, and I wanted to. Now, there is something that we handed out to people up here on the dais. I want to make very public. I'm not trying to buy anybody. It's a $2 bill. It's my personal money, not campaign money, not county money, just so everybody knows. I want to make that clear. But we often see a $2 bill and everybody, oh, it's lucky, or it's this, and it's so unusual. But has anybody ever really looked at a $2 bill? Does anybody know why they're unique? I would hand one out to everybody, but I think I'd run out. The back of a $2 bill, on every other bill, the 1, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100, there's a building. You'll pull out your money, you'll see that there's a building. The one has a pyramid, but the rest of them are all known buildings. But a pyramid is a building. This one is a signing of the Declaration of Independence, exactly what we're celebrating. It has been on this $2 bill, and people just haven't noticed. To me, the significance is it recognizes that our country is about the people, not the buildings. And that, to me, is why the $2 bill is so special. So I knew that many people don't know this. I was city treasurer for the city of Corona back in 96 to 2002. And I had opportunity to go to the Mint and all the different things and meet the different treasurers. And you'll see in my office, if you've been in my office, I have a whole sheet of $2 bills that I purchased. Because they are so special and people just don't realize. So ever since then, my husband and I have been giving, particularly to children, $2 bills and explaining this in front of their parents so that they all know the significance. And I think this is something that we should all know, is that our country is about the people, not the buildings. And this time, we're celebrating what's on the back of our $2 bill in honor of the 250th birthday. So thank you very much for letting me share that. Okay, we're going to now do presentations. We have two. One is July is Park and Recreation Month, and Parks Make a Better Life Month. So Kyla, do you want to come up? Do you want me to do my little spiel first, or you want to just take over?
You're right.
Why don't you just come over and take it up?
And I'm going to invite up Try that again. All right. I'd like to invite up my partner agencies from economic development and from facilities management. My name is Kyla Brown, and I'm the Parks Director and General Manager for Riverside County Regional Park and Open Space District. And something that many people don't realize is that the Parks Department isn't the only department that provides park and recreation services for the county. It's actually provided through many agencies within the county and outside of the county through nonprofits, churches, schools, you name it. Parks and recreation are an incredible part of the fabric of communities and help create quality of life for our county residents. In our regional park and open space department, we manage over 100,000 acres of land. We have regional parks, interpretive centers, historic sites, museums, open space areas that we protect and conserve to create better quality of life for Riverside. And I'm going to hand it over to Suzanne to talk a little bit about what economic development does.
Thank you, Kyla. The Office of Economic Development has a unique opportunity for community engagement. We actually have 12 million square miles of open space, landscaping, recreational opportunities, including 18 parks, one 9-hole golf course, and a couple of our splash pads. Included in Office of Economic Development is the Riverside County Library System. And as Supervisor Spiegel just mentioned, we are kicking off America 250th, our birthday anniversary. And I would love everyone to come into one of our 34 branches. We have commemorative 250th anniversary library cards that everyone can come get, bookmarkers. There is a whole slew of activities at those branches that you can find on the website, which is rivcolib.net. I just said rivcolib.net. No, it is www.rivlib.net. And we have a whole slew of activities. And let's see, I think that's about it. Tomas, you going to talk?
Perfect. So good morning, Tomas Beauchamp, I'm Assistant Director of Facilities Management, along with the Community Center team here. We definitely are proud to partner with Parks and also Suzanne, you and your team, to really support the county in Parks and Recreation Month. We operate and maintain community centers, Big League Dreams, Mecca Sports Park, Lakeland Village Sports Park as well as various water parks. And so it's really bringing that community together, bringing opportunities for them across the county, and definitely proud to be here today. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that Parks and Recreation creates opportunities for people to connect with nature, connect with history and culture, to reconnect with themselves if they need a little away time and by hiking or going out into nature, and kind of disconnecting from all the busyness of life. So we invite you to come out to any of our recreational spaces, whether it be in regional parks, in economic development, or in facilities management, or through some other mechanism in your local community, and make sure that you're taking advantage of those services. We have a quick little video to show as well to celebrate Parks Make Life Better Month, and July is Parks and Recreation Month.
Happy Parks and Recreation Month, Riverside County. My name is Kyla Brown, and I serve as the Parks Director for Riverside County Regional Park and Open Space District, also known as RivCo Parks. Parks and recreation are at the heart of every community. They are where families gather, kids explore, friends reconnect, and traditions are created.
Across Riverside County, RivCo Parks create spaces where people can get outside, experience nature, learn local history, and make lasting memories together. From our campgrounds, trails, and lakes, to our museums, nature centers, and historic sites, every park experience helps connect our community to the outdoors and to one another. Through special events, educational programs, and volunteer stewardship opportunities, we bring people together to celebrate, protect, and care for the places we all share.
This Parks and Recreation Month, we celebrate the park, programs, and people that make Riverside County stronger.
RivCo Parks, connecting community, nature, and history for generations to come.
Well, thank you, Kyla. And we do have a proclamation in honor of Park and Recreation Month and Parks Make Life Better Month. And I'm not going to read all this because we've already been through it, but I just wanted to know that we did do a proclamation in honor of, with all of my 5 colleagues. Our next recognition will be Riverside County Youth Commission. And is Joe Matthews here?
Yeah, someone there.
Right in the back. Okay. Those of you who don't know that each one of our, you can come up here. Each one of our districts has a youth commission with a coordinator, and Joe oversees all of them. And they're young students that are volunteering and learning more about what we do here at the county. And they are tremendous help and asset in the community. They work events for us. They do all kinds of things for the learning experience. And we're going to be recognizing the Spirit Awards. So, Joe, I'm going to go ahead and have you take it over.
Okay. All right. You want me to go ahead and read all this amazing stuff?
Well, you can hand up the award.
Perfect. All right. That sounds great. Okay, like we were talking about, my name is Joe Matthews. I am the Riverside County Youth Commission Coordinator. I have the amazing opportunity and privilege to work with high school students throughout Riverside County. Students want to be actively engaged in their community. They're civically minded and they want to make a difference in the world. And the students that we're going to be honoring today are the commissioners, co-commissioners, and Spirit Award winners from each of the 5 districts throughout Riverside County. So we already have 166 plus amazing students throughout the county. So the ones that we're recognizing today are the chosen leadership from each of those groups and the students who shined out and worked harder than everybody else in their districts. So it's really tough to pick, but we were able to whittle it down somehow, some way to get these students here today. So, but first I want to introduce the YAC coordinators. Unfortunately, District 1's YAC coordinator, her contract ended. Angie Salinas could not be here today, but she got hired by TPSS. So she's no doubt working out in Indio right now, so she couldn't be here. We have a new hire, Samantha, you want to go ahead and come on up? She is our 2nd District Youth Commission Coordinator. Come on up. And as she makes her way up, we also want to recognize Nazareth Vera, who was our 2nd District YAC Coordinator and now is full-time staff for Supervisor Spiegel's office. And the 3rd District YAC Coordinator, Ruben Quezada, who was our YAC coordinator and intern, and now he's hired as full-time staff for Supervisor Chuck Washington's office. And our 4th District YAC coordinator, Angie Cervantes. Who somehow manages to be our YAC coordinator while also pursuing a degree in nursing and working at the hospital. So I have no idea how he does it, but this man figures it out. So good work, Andrew. And last but not least, our 5th District YAC Coordinator and recent graduate from UCR, Victoria Podakova. But not to mention, Nazareth just graduated, and there's so many other people in the room who just graduated from UCR, so give a hands for all of our students who just graduated. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go down the line. I will take the place of the 1st District YAC Coordinator, because right now I'm Youth Commission Coordinator and YAC Coordinator. Anyone in leadership positions, you guys know how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and do this right now until our new YAC Coordinator starts, hopefully within the next week. So she'll be here soon, sir. Yes. All right, so we are going to start with the 1st District Commissioner, Durini Riverside. And Durini is currently a junior and will be a senior at Riverside STEM Academy next year. All right, next up we have the co-commissioner for the 1st District, who is going to be heading to UC Berkeley and majoring in mathematics, Mr. Alex Garza. All right, and the Spirit Award winner for the 1st District, who was only a freshman this year, so somehow a freshman came in and outworked everybody, going to be a sophomore at King High School, Jennifer Garza. All right, we'll keep going down the list. So we will go ahead and move on to District 2. Nazareth, you, Samantha, want to come up? You can hand out the placards for me? Yeah. You need the, oh, you want to read the names? Yeah. Oh, okay, you do it.
Okay.
I know, right?
Good morning, everyone. So I'd like to present the first plaque to our commissioner, Hannah Gabondo. She will be going to Stanford studying political science. And then as she's coming up, I'd like to present our co-commissioner for this year, Tanvi Nalam. So she'll be continuing school. She'll be a senior this year. And then next, I'd like to present our Spirit Award winner. He's been with us for 3 years. He's always shows up with a smile and a joke up his sleeve, Octavio Mendoza. He will be continuing school at RCC, studying communications.
I'm going to go ahead and just keep handing the mic to the YAC coordinators. You know these students better than I do.
Okay, so to begin, we'd like to congratulate our commissioner, Savannah Alderson, who unfortunately is out of town at the moment. She will be attending the University of San Marcos, and she'll be studying English. In attendance today, we do have also our commissioner, Sasha Nadimi, who will be attending UC Irvine and who will be studying English in the coming year. We'd also like to congratulate Kelly Smith, our co-commissioner for the year. She'll be studying at UC Irvine, and she will be studying pre-law. And last, we have Shayla Vilches, who was our Spirit Award winner for the year. It was her first year in YAC. She was a sophomore. She brought amazing energy, and it was great to have her part of the team, and we look forward to having her back next year.
All right, cool. Cool. All right, so my name is Andrew Cervantes. I'm the 4th District Youth Advisory Council intern. Now, I'd like to present our awards here. Our first, unfortunately, she couldn't make it due to family emergency, but our 4th District Commissioner, it's her 3rd year in YAC. She's well-deserved. She is Carla Mendoza. And although she's not here today, she will be studying at Cal State University San Bernardino, majoring in child development, to hopefully take up my job one day. And we are fortunate to have 2 co-commissioners this year. The first one was unable to be with us today. He's out of town, but that is Roberto Sanchez, and he is going to Cal Poly Pomona to major in plant science. And secondly, here with us today, we have our other co-commissioner, Mr. Maximilian Roddy, and he will be going to Norwich University to major in mechanical engineering and completing the Marine Corps NROTC. And last but not least, we have our Spirit Award winner for the year, our YAC historian for the 4th District, Miss Sofia Alejandre, and she will be attending the University of California, Santa Barbara and majoring in pre-film and media studies.
Hello, everyone. I'm the District 5 YAC coordinator, and I'm so grateful to announce the award for our commissioner, Andrea Davila, who unfortunately could not make it today, but I still would like to recognize all her hard work throughout the year. She is an incoming senior at Beaumont High School. Next, I would like to congratulate our co-commissioner, Crystal, who will be going to UC Berkeley studying political science. I'm so proud of you. Let's congratulate her. Lastly, she also could not make it, but our Spirit Award winner is Gunit Segon. She has shown amazing leadership, and she is our historian. And if you do not follow us already, you should follow us on RivCo YAC _D5. She has increased our engagement and just been an outstanding leader, and I'm so proud of her.
So on behalf of the Board of Supervisors and Riverside County Youth Commission, we proudly recognize all these commissioners, co-commissioners, and Spirit Award winners from each of the districts for their outstanding service, leadership, and commitment throughout the 2025-26 year. We're excited to hear where you're going. We want to hear your future plans. This is a springboard, and as many of you have participated in the activities and the events, gives you a taste of what is out there. And we hope that you continue down that path. You've demonstrated exceptional dedication for representing the voice of youth within the communities, which is very important. We think we know everything, but you let us know we don't. I know that. But that's okay. If you don't say anything, it'll always remain the same, correct? So thank you for stepping up and leading our youth. And the Riverside County Commission and the Board of Supervisors commends all of you for your outstanding leadership and contributions. And we look forward, as I said before, to see where those of you who are leaving us, where you're going, and your future endeavors. Please keep in contact with your supervisors, because it really is exciting to hear when they come back and visit. I know Chuck and I have had that opportunity to hear when our YAC kids have come back and shared what they're doing, and very impressive work. So thank you all. We're going to
Yeah, so let's have 1 through 5 groups. So the youth down on the floor here. And so 1, District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4. And then we'll have corresponding supervisors. So we should have 1, 2, 3. Coordinators as well with your groups. All right, everybody looking right here at this camera first, please. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3. And then you call them. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we are now ready for our Clerk of the Board update.
There are no additions, no deletions. Under corrections, item 3.24 is in District 1. Under notations, continue item 22.1 to August 25, 2026. We have speakers signed up for public comment, and items 2.7, 3.5, 3.9, 3.23, 3.24, 3.25, 3.26, 3.27, and 3.28.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, items 2.7, 3.5, 3.9, 3.23 through 3.28. Welcome.
It's probably. Okay, did everybody get all those? With that being said, we'll go ahead and, Supervisor Washington?
I was wondering if you were going to.
Oh, I apologize.
Yes. That's okay.
Supervisor Washington, you wanted to pull 3.5.
It's already pulled, but I thought you wanted to allow my colleagues to have an opportunity to pull something.
Yes, you're right. 2.6. Thank you, Chuck, for keeping me up to date. Supervisor Medina.
3.2.
Okay, and I was going to pull 3.2 as well as 3.13. Now, Chuck?
Now I'll vote.
Keeps me honest up here. Okay, with that being said, we will begin with 2.6. Supervisor Perez.
Finest seeing here. Thank you, Madam Chair. If I could go ahead and have folks from Oswald Land Trust come up, specifically Jane Garrison, and I'm not sure if you brought anybody else, Jane? All right, well, this is for presentation purposes, and just thought we'd get that update that you wanted to give us in front of the board. So by all means, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, Board of Supervisors. Thank you so much, Supervisor Perez, for inviting me. My name is Jane Garrison. I'm the founder and executive director of Oswald Land Trust. We are a conservation organization based in Palm Springs, California, and we preserve land in both Riverside County and Imperial County. We started 10 years ago, starting with one little canyon, and it has formed into a big land trust that we have now acquired 8 properties and have protected over 10,000 acres. So we're very excited about the work that we do. I'm here today to share with you the project that we are most excited about that we have worked on to date, and that is called the Desert Dunes Conservation and Education Center. We are taking a 177-acre property and creating an education center that will include a desert tortoise recovery center. This project is enthusiastically supported by both state and federal wildlife agencies, conservation organizations such as Mojave Desert Land Trust, Sierra Club, Friends of the Desert Mountains, Coachella Valley Conservation Commission, and I can go on with others, and we hope to add the Riverside County Board of Supervisors to the list of supporters. We put together a film. We had a filmmaker who did a 12-minute film on the project. He kindly condensed it to a 4-minute video that I'd like to show you because I think that it speaks better than I can, and I'd like you to see why we refer to this as the Coachella Valley Serengeti. And so we can show this quick video and share with you why we are so excited, and we hope you will be too. I remember the first time I heard about desert dunes, and I absolutely remember the first time that I came here. The minute I turned off the street and started that drive, I knew that this was something special. And from that second, we knew that this property needed our attention.
If we go back 100 to 150 years, the Coachella Valley was 100 square miles of sand dunes surrounded by mesquite thickets all around the outside. And as anybody who's been to the Coachella Valley knows, that 100 square miles of sand dunes is gone. And so are almost all of the mesquite areas that surround them. They were the first to be developed. And so this represents the last best patch of mesquite that has not yet been fully developed. The Cahuilla people thrived here because the mesquite was this very rich habitat, not only for the fruits or the pods that they would eat, but also for the animals that were attracted to it.
When we went into an options agreement, meaning we went into a contract to work toward buying this property, we asked the owner if we were able to start putting wildlife cameras out on the property even before we owned it. And what we saw was even better than we ever expected.
There are animals and plants here that you would be hard-pressed to find anywhere else in the Coachella Valley or hard-pressed to find anywhere else in California.
We see more wildlife, more diversity of wildlife, and more frequency of wildlife on this property than any other property that we own. And now we also see endangered species like the burrowing owl, who is pending being an endangered species in California. So our goal is to preserve the entire section of land. If you look at a map, it's a square and it's 640 acres. Now in that 640-acre square, you have 3 different owners. So the first phase was to acquire what used to be the golf course property, which includes these amazing mesquite hummocks. The next thing that we want to do is we want to purchase the surrounding property.
So remember what I told you with the fluff? Look at this, check this one out. So grab. My name is Andres Marquez. This is my son Nevin. I'm from Desert Hot Springs. I lived here my whole life. And I didn't know this property existed, other than the fact that it was here. Well, you know, he's very young, so he doesn't understand the full impact of areas like this. To him, this is always going to exist in his eyes. He doesn't know that it can disappear at any moment.
What was once this 100 square miles of sand dunes has now been reduced to just a few little patches, probably 5% of that is left, maybe even less than 5%. And that means surrounding mesquite habitats that has also been destroyed. So this is the last that's left. And it's an opportunity for the Oswald Land Trust to step up and really protect part of the heritage of the Coachella Valley that will be lost forever if we don't step up and do it now.
My dream for Desert Dunes is that this entire 640 acres is in conservation and is safe forever and never threatened with development. And then Desert Dunes becomes the regional conservation and education center that is so needed in this area.
Nevin, do you like this place? Yeah? You like all the animals here? Do you like the bobcats? You see, remember the 2 bobcats and the owls? They all live here. For me, for this place to be preserved, it'll mean a lot. And it's not just for me, myself, it's for the rest of the community, as well as for the future generations that are going to be able to really see it from the ground up, preserved, and learn from it.
I would welcome all of you to come out for a tour. We'd be happy to take you for a tour of the property when it's cooler. And would love to have the support of the Board of Supervisors as well going forward. Do you have any questions about this project?
From my colleagues. Any questions from my colleagues? No?
Do you work at all with RCA, with the Western Riverside?
Yeah, we do. We work,
Okay.
yep. And with the Open Space District, we've been talking with them as well. Yeah, we pretty much will work with everyone and anyone.
I was hoping so.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I thank you, Supervisor Perez, for his continued support of this project. He's been out there.
Yeah,
So,
sure. Well, thank you for coming out here and well representing, obviously Oswald, but more so the area, the region itself, and looking forward to one day, having this ability, this opportunity for our kids to learn there in real time what it's like to conserve, to see wildlife, to see them grow, I guess.
Exactly.
And the different wildlife and plants that exist out there too. So it's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. And I'm not the only one, obviously, the CVAG and many others appreciate it. So thank you once again.
great. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for being here. Okay, and that passes 5-0.
Thank you for your indulgence, colleagues. Thank you.
Well, I've never heard of it, so, I've heard of it, but I've never seen the pictures, so it really is enticing to make a visit to see.
Yeah.
Not sure if we can hit all 640 acres in one afternoon, but.
We'll put you in a golf cart.
Okay. Whew. Afraid I have to walk it all.
Just don't do it in the summer.
Oh, okay. Low-flying airplane, that's good. Okay, 2.7, that's public comment?
Yes, Roy Bleckert.
Is it just the one? Yes. Okay, thank you. Just as he's coming up, 10:30 is the cutoff for public comments, so if you're planning to speak, make sure you get your card in by 10:30.
The legislative report. That meeting, should have a meeting dedicated all unto itself because of the importance of it. You hear many times, especially from this dais, about the state or the federal government imposing mandates or unfunded mandates that you have to deal with. First one, AB 72 by Corey the Crook Jackson mandates electric cars. The people, what, 80, 90, probably 111% do not support this. Let the free market work. If people want to buy electric cars, let them buy them. People that don't, let them choose. But you're supporting a mandate on the people. You didn't like it, but you think it's great for us. AB 736, affordable housing. Practically everything you do, you or in conjunction with the state or the federal government, makes housing unaffordable. Highest costs in the nation, almost $1 million a home, and we can go on. These are the things that are not discussed in public, that the public should be informed of, so we can make better decisions on who represents us. The big kicker, AB 1821. That's a proposal to shut us up, to destroy what Jerry Brown even put in, to allow us access to government records. And we can say, oh, we're not going to turn on the people, and we're not going to put them in jail, or we're not going to run them through the lawyer ringer, until you do. You should be opposing that 111%. CalPERS is asking for more money. You know we're going broke with that. We've had to pass bonds here, and state agencies, local agencies. That should be at the forefront of what we are discussing and what does not get discussed. And I don't see a proposal to take over the Chuckawalla jail to make our community safer and to protect the jobs of the Coachella Valley.
Supervisor Medina, are you in the queue, or is that from before? That was from before. Thank you. Any comments from my colleagues on that?
If I say anything, I'll get in trouble.
Okay. That's a no. Okay, please vote. Okay, so we are now on 3.2. Now it's Supervisor Medina.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I pulled 3.2 just so that we can become more aware of it. The first district convened a task force of county agencies who have a role in stopping illegal dumping and cleanup of properties that have been dumped on. These agencies or offices include the Executive Office, Code Enforcement, Environmental Health, Transportation, Waste Resources, and the County Sheriff. When I first came on board as supervisor of the first supervisorial district and traveled through especially Meade Valley, I was struck by the amount of dumping in that area of our county. So the county has responded by creating a framework known as RivCo Clean Initiative, which is a collaborative effort to improve coordination among county departments, simplifying reporting for residents, increasing enforcement and deterrence efforts, and promote community engagement and prevention strategies. We have also, in the first district, started with our first volunteer cleanup activity, and we did that in High Grove 2 Saturdays ago. Also, in item 3.2 is asking the county to write letters of support for Assembly Bill 2310 and Senate Bill 1230. These are two measures that are intended to strengthen enforcement and deterrence of illegal dumping. AB 2310 strengthens enforcement against large-scale illegal dumping by closing loopholes in existing law and increases accountability for property owners. SB 1230 increases penalties for repeat illegal dumping violations. So I asked my colleagues to join me in support of item 3.2.
And I'm going
I'll move it.
I'm going to chime in on that also. It's not just District 1. Lakeland Village and some of the other areas have, throughout the county, particularly unincorporated areas, because you don't have the direct jurisdiction with as much activity, and we have to do that within the county, and that's why this task force that you set up is very beneficial for all of us. We do that in Lakeland Village, and I'm sure there's other areas that we all have throughout the county. I know that Supervisor Perez has been on this for years in the dumping in his area, so this is beneficial for the entire county, so I certainly support it. Okay, we have our own cheering section. Okay, we're moving on to 3.5. Supervisor Washington, you have a public comment. You want them first, or you want to speak first?
Well, if you'll indulge me, Madam Chair, I want to give the Executive Office an opportunity to give a staff report. And if that's not available, I can speak somewhat to the project. Or Mr. Van Wagenen, would you like to take that on?
I certainly can, Supervisor Washington. Good morning. There is an issue that is developing in southwest Riverside County. Specifically, SDG&E is looking at expanding a power line project into southwest Riverside County, into the area of Temecula, into the unincorporated area bordering on Temecula. And there are significant concerns that the county has, excuse me, with that project, with the location of that project, with the above ground nature of the project, and how the information is being shared and relayed, and the involvement of the various stakeholders. I know that the city of Temecula has expressed some concerns. I know that some of the tribes in that particular area have also expressed some concerns. And what this item does, Supervisor, as you know, puts us in line and in coordination with those other stakeholders to express our concerns. It also, if the board approves this item, it directs the executive office to work with a number of our county departments, including fire, to engage with not only the stakeholders that are against the project, but also to do work with the California Public Utilities Commission, CPUC, and we've already begun laying the groundwork for meeting with that group. So this is the very beginning of a process where we express our concerns, and it allows, with board action today, it allows us to engage and advocate for the interests of our residents in that area.
And I'll just add to that, just to give my colleagues a visual. There's a need to connect from an area in Imperial County over to a substation just north of, I believe it's on the north side of San Onofre, shut down atomic energy facility, songs. And I think what many of us in the Southwest have a problem with is the line crosses into Riverside County out near Awanga. That obviously is in my district. And then it parallels the county line coming into Temecula and running along Temecula Creek. It then crosses the freeway, it goes up into the Duluth area, and eventually it will leave Riverside County to go back into San Diego County to finish the connection. The Southwest, much like what we just heard from the 4th District and Coachella Valley, has much to protect environmentally, much that supports one of the more significant industries in the region, and that is tourism. And I believe this would have great impact on that industry, harm the communities. In addition to, I think we'll hear, once we learn more about other impacts, potential wildfires, et cetera. And I don't want to get out ahead of those who would like to make public comments as well. Madam Chair, so I'll stop there. And if you want to open this up to public comments or other colleagues.
I will make a couple real quick. We had a project not with San Diego Gas and Electric, but with SCE in my district, and that was with Edison. And fighting does help. Harupa Valley got it underground, but Norco was a bit behind, and it's not going underground. So I think standing up and expressing voices in an appropriate manner will get attention that there is second thoughts to this. And I'm very glad to see this happening. Chino did it, we're successful. And it's all in the way that making sure we do it on a professional manner. And you guys have done a great job. And I think that particularly in what's been happening the last couple of years, and already we've kicked, I guess there is no fire season officially, correct, Chief? It's all the time, but it's kicked in the last month quite a bit with several fires in our county. So it is something that we really have to look at and be serious about. And I think finding every single fire and the relevance and how how it was started, what it affected it, what fueled it, and all those details gives this more credibility. So certainly support this. My colleagues, anybody else? Okay, with that. Do we have somebody from the public, right?
Yes, we have 6 speakers. Jessica Alexander, followed by Zach Schwenk, followed by Aaron Adams.
Good morning, Chair and board members. Thank you for considering this agenda item. My name is Jessica Alexander, and I'm a resident, a mother, and the mayor of the city of Temecula. Before discussing my concerns, I think it is important to put this project into perspective. It is designed to cut through the 3rd District and the city of Temecula. The average household uses approximately 1 kilowatt of energy. A single 500 kV transmission line can carry enough power to serve up to 3.5 million people, the equivalent of powering a major metropolitan area such as San Diego or Phoenix. These are not ordinary utility poles. We are talking about massive steel transmission towers reaching approximately 200 feet into the air, nearly the height of a 20-story building, carrying 500,000 volts of electricity across our landscapes, homes, and businesses. These structures would permanently alter some of the most scenic and culturally significant areas of our region. Most importantly, this power is not being generated to serve the residents of Temecula or Southwest Riverside County. This infrastructure is being built to move electricity through our communities to other regions, including areas outside of Riverside County. Riverside County residents are being asked to bear the impacts while others receive the benefits. I am here today in strong opposition to this proposed project. My concerns being with public safety. These towers are approximately 200 feet tall, very well could interfere with aerial firefighting operations in a region facing significant wildfire risk. In a county that has experienced devastating fires, we should be supporting first responders, not creating additional obstacles. I am also concerned about emergency helicopters and public safety aircraft that depend on safe flight paths to save lives. I am also deeply concerned about the impacts for our tribal communities. Ladies and gentlemen, this project threatens areas of cultural, historical, and spiritual significance to our tribal neighbors. We have a responsibility to respect tribal sovereignty and ensure tribal voices are being heard. Looking that I only have 30 seconds and so much more to say, we also want to take a look at the impact of our economic consequences. These can devastate our region. Also, property owners, businesses, what else is that impacting? With 17 seconds left, I just want to ask each one of you, please consider supporting this resolution, as this can make a huge impact, not only for the city of Temecula, but truly for the county and the outside regions. Let's all stand together and stand for the people. Thank you.
Zach Schwenk, followed by Aaron Adams, followed by Marianne Edwards.
As that comes up, we're closing public comments, acceptance of people putting their cards in. Thank you.
Chair Spiegel and Supervisors, staff, and Riverside County residents. My name is Zach Schwenk. I'm a council member in the city of Temecula, and more importantly, a 25-year resident of the city of Temecula. And much like all the families that live in Temecula, we moved there because of the family-friendly environment. We moved there for the beauty, the landscape, the community itself. I'm here today to carry the voices for the 100,000+ residents of our community who have overwhelmingly stood up in opposition to this project. It is not a project that is going to benefit our city. And in fact, it's going to be detrimental. And Supervisor Washington and Chair Spiegel, I appreciate you very much for bringing this forward, to have this resolution of opposition to this project. I could build off of what Mayor Alexander said, talked about all of the impacts. They are substantial, whether it is tourism, whether it is fire, public safety, economic development. People's home values are going to be massively impacted. This project is bad for our region, but even more importantly, I want to stand with some of the communities outside of Temecula, right? Borrego Springs, this project could go right through Borrego Springs, Anza Borrego State Park. Beautiful. I grew up in that area. It's gorgeous out there. And we just talk about preserving a property out, and let's just think about preserving the land that we have. We have this beautiful corridor. We have this beautiful wine country, a nature preserve that goes out to the coast, some of the last protected space. Let's save it. Let's protect what we have. And I think I would sort of task not just Riverside County residents, but California residents, like, let's start thinking about caring more for the environment. Let's start thinking about the way that we get power, how we use power, the things that we do in our daily lives that sort of necessitate this idea that we need this 500 kilovolt power line running through our community. We don't need it. We don't want it. And I am very hopeful that the county will take an opposition position to this and leverage all the resources available to join Temecula residents, surrounding communities, our tribal communities, in opposition to this project. Thank you very much.
Aaron Adams, followed by Marianne Edwards.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board, county staff. My name is Aaron Adams, and I have the privilege of being the city manager for the city of Temecula, as well as resident. Thank you, Supervisor Washington and Board Chair Spiegel, and the entire Board of Supervisors for your leadership and support on this important issue. I'm here with the Mayor and the City Council and City Council Member Schwenk, Assistant City Manager Luke Watson, and other Save Temecula volunteers to strongly support your item and to say thank you. San Diego Gas and Electric proposes 190-foot tall plus structures every 1,000 or so feet with the highest voltage 500 kV transmission wires through southwest Riverside County. SDG&E and their map and their route makes no sense. It starts in San Diego County, then it goes up through Aguanga, Temecula Valley, through the city of Temecula, through Duluth, and then back down into San Diego and Orange County. Furthermore, San Diego Gas and Electric is not our utility company. These high voltage lines are not intended to power Riverside County. The proposed path through Riverside County was selected due to its affordability, and hundreds of thousands of Riverside County constituents, now and into the future, will pay the price. Overall, the city would like to thank you for your well-considered, well-written staff report and presentation, which states it perfectly. This alignment runs for miles through one of the most environmentally and culturally sensitive creeks in California, not to mention public safety considerations, tourism, infrastructure constraints, and more, including fire risk. We don't have time for the many reasons this project's route through Riverside County is horribly wrong. But we would like to thank you for calling out the need to study the extreme fire concern. Unlike vast open space lands, Temecula Creek is surrounded by thousands upon thousands of homes and businesses. With Temecula acting like a wind tunnel, most afternoons, fires will rapidly spread to adjacent homes and businesses because firefighters will be forced to delay air and ground attacks until SDG&E not only de-energizes the towers, but also arrives on site to deem it safe. And we've seen fires in Temecula Creek often enough, and we know there's no time to wait on the utility. Temecula Valley Wine Country attracts 3.3 million visitors a year to Riverside County. It's not just the wine. The tourism industry is due to our county's beautiful nature, our picturesque rolling hills and landscape. It is terrifying to think our hot air balloons float at the mercy of the wind where these towers are proposed. In closing, we support the county's commitment to collaborate with local jurisdictions, tribal governments, and stakeholders, and stand ready to partner with Riverside County as this proposed process moves forward. Thank you for your time today.
Marianne Edwards, followed by Melanie Neiman.
Good morning, Supervisors. Thank you for sponsoring this. I almost said Councilmember Washington. Thank you for sponsoring this on behalf of the City of Temecula. You know, a lot of things have been said already, but I want to add a couple of other things. 4 different bids were submitted for this project, and only one of those goes through an urban area. Not just an urban area, but as Aaron said, thousands of houses back right up to Temecula Creek, so these towers will be right over them. Why weren't some of the other areas, or some of the other bids chosen? That's one of our questions. Another question that we have is when the bids were let, SDG&E was not chosen. They were not the contract that was chosen. Another energy company called Horizon West was chosen, fine. And then all of a sudden, SDG&E had taken over their project. And nobody really knows how that happened or why. And so that's one of the things we're looking into. There are just many, many things that don't seem right about this. And I'll tell you, they could not have picked a worse place. The same thing we said about Liberty Quarry. Along Temecula Creek, which is protected, we can't even go in there to pick up trash without working with flood control. And then it flows all the way down through the homes and schools, and ends up crossing the freeway to the Santa Margarita River. 70 endangered species are known to inhabit that immediate area around the river. And just at the foot of Puesca Mountain, that's the cradle of civilization for Pechanga. It's like our Garden of Eden. And then up higher is the Santa Margarita Ecological Preserve. Scientific experiments are conducted there constantly, 24/7, all year long. And they study things like wind and effects on fire. They study insect migration. They study animals. They study water. It's just a horrible place for them to have chosen. So we really appreciate you coming forward and taking a stand on this issue. Once again, Temecula is in battle mode, and we're good at it, and we're going to win.
Melanie Neiman, followed by Roy Blecker.
Good morning, Riverside County Board of Supervisors. My name is Melanie Neiman, and I live in Temecula. Thank you for the excellent work you have done to preserve Temecula Creek. I encourage you to approve this item regarding San Diego Gas and Electric's proposed Golden Pacific PowerLink project. I have enjoyed living in a home that overlooks the basin, and I value its protection today and for future generations. My strongest concern, although I have many, is about its contribution to wildfires and the barriers it could create for extinguishing efforts. In emergencies, access and effective response can be the difference between containment and catastrophe. Please consider how this project affects public safety. I appreciate the work you have done so far, and I respectfully ask you to vote in favor of this item. Thank you.
Roy Blecker, and Roy will be our last speaker.
to the mayor of Temecula, big difference when you're at the podium and you're on the clock. First off, my philosophy is everyone deserves cheap and reliable power. That being the case and a goal we should all work for, we've all seen the devastation, especially in Altadena, over the fire issue and electric lines. We should not take that concern lightly. And whenever I hear overhead lines, and I'm not opposed to them on the aesthetics or environment, I'm on the public safety part and the fire danger. So if we're going through that route and there's a fire danger like there was in the Santa Ana River that we've all been across, the electric line should be underground. For one, eliminates probably 98.7% of the fire danger and increases the reliability of your electric transmission lines. So I hope the Board of Supervisors and executive staff will take this into consideration and put this forward and lobby on behalf of not only the people of Temecula, of everywhere. Because if there's a fire, a major fire, we all bear the cost of that. And on top of that, the major devastation and lives and property that can be lost, as we've seen whole communities just wiped out. We can't take that risk. That risk is too great. And if it requires us undergrounding lines to do that, that's a price we must pay in order to ensure the safety not only of property but of lives and the protection of our firefighters that have to go out there and fight these tremendous fires when they do start. So I hope common sense will prevail on this. I hope that you guys are good enough negotiators that you can convince the other side to work with the County of Riverside and, more importantly, all the people. Because after the fact is always too late, and we can't put the genie back in the bottle, as we've seen recently in the major devastations. Let's not go through that again.
Okay, and this item passes 5-0. Oh, want to follow up?
Yes. Never mind.
Oh, go ahead.
No, we'll move on.
It's perfectly fine. Wait, check what's the say, just a couple things real quick.
No. I thought when public comment was going to be done that we would come back and we'd have some discussion. Not needed.
Everybody voted already. Sorry. It's open. Okay, we're done. Okay, 3.9.
We have two public speakers, Roy Bleckard, followed by Veronica Langworthy.
Again, taking the interests of all of us, the 2.5 million people of Riverside County, the passing of this budget is just mind-boggling on how you're destroying the future of all of us. Record $10+ billion in good times. And you see structural deficit. You see CalPERS eating us up. Cost, rising higher than revenues. Doesn't matter what you do, you do not have a revenue problem. You have a spending and a will to do what's right problem. No more than this is reflected. We spent $300 million building that Indio jail. Took us, almost 10 years. We only got one floor, and that was the money that was going to operate the other one it replaced. The other 3 floors, 1,200 beds, are sitting there empty 7 years after it's completed. And you can't find the money to do that, you know darn well. Looking, and I put it in there, the evidence, I throwed it in there yesterday. It does not work. All this stuff, if you're going to make this community safe from vagrants and anything else, or clean up that problem, it doesn't work. It does not work unless you have jail space and the threat of incarceration on them to get them the treatment or clean them up that they need. We've been through this 9,472 times. We just seen last year how it's going to have to work. And it's not going to be by Housing First. And it's not going to be by, we're going to have this program. It's going to be that we need the facilities. And we have them in Riverside County. And we're not using them. Explain to everyone how this is possible. Because I sure as heck can't come up with a reason why. Other than you're just using the budget to buy political favors so you stay in office or keep your jobs. And I offer you the opportunity. Sit beside me and prove.
Veronica Langworthy.
Chuck, do you know who that is?
Good morning, supervisors, and I'm happy to say good morning. First, I want to say I appreciate the items that were pulled from the calendar this morning, for Supervisor Medina saying that he wanted, the public to become more aware of this issue. For Supervisor Washington directing the CEO to give a report. For Supervisor Spiegel giving some background in history, that it's not just a, no comment, no information, pass it through, and we don't know what's going on. So it's really important that we are kept informed as your constituents on what you are doing and why you're doing it, and that there is a finding of fact for the decisions you're making. So for this item, the budget amendments and resolutions for the fiscal year 26-27, I attended the June 8th and 9th board meetings, and there were some changes made, but I don't see anything in the record that shows a summary of those. So I would appreciate having read into the record today what those changes are, what actually is being adopted. The summaries that were given by the different departments about things like housing, where it said that Tres Lagos and Wildemar will be receiving very low income funding for the housing, when that piece of property that was paid for by the county with a grant was originally intended for senior housing. And under Bob Buster, it didn't get a grant to actually make it happen, and then it was given to the developer, and then the developer got it foreclosed on, the county bought it again, and now we have 3-story high housing that now is going to be very low income, rather than the other areas of the county that are getting low income housing. So that type of thing that happens that we're not informed on, the ROV stating that their budget is based on voters having confidence in the election system. And yet, we're told that we understand that the ROV is the one that conducts the audit, that they certify the election. But they say that the records that we have requested are drafts, that They will be editing the records. And so I would just ask that in all things that you have before you, that there is a finding of fact, that there is clarity for the public, that for this item that you would read into the record, what are the changes from the hearing that happened on the 8th and 9th to today, so that it will be understood what you are voting on. So I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from my colleagues? Guess that was a no. I do want to comment that Ms. Langworthy did make a couple of good points, Mr. Van Wagenen, and if it's there and we all she missed it, I missed it. The clarity, I understand, even though we did it through the meeting, we made the points, you gave us written things of what we did, but if that was to be included, possibly.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, Chair, and I would point everyone's attention to page 3 of the board's action item today that specifically details all of the written revisions. It is the exact same chart that I presented to the board on June 9th, the written revision that was made to the board before the hearing was closed. And that was what was approved by the board. And quite literally, the table that I presented is in the actual Form 11, page 3 of 5, that the board is voting on today. So I would point Ms. Langworthy's attention to that so that you can see those things. And hopefully you have the board action item in front of you. Well, that's something that you may want to get before you speak on items. So I would submit on that.
Thank you. I didn't go item by item. I just listened to her and jumped. Okay. Item 3.13. I pulled this one. Is somebody from Animal Services still here? Thank you, Kim. This is a great opportunity, and I'm very supportive. My only concern is that when in the MOU, there is that if we don't hit the right number, then we pay for them all. And when can we, is it a mutually agreed we can end the contract? I'm just worried that it's going to end up costing us more than receiving opportunity.
I think that we have every confidence that we can meet the numbers in the MOU and even exceed that. So I don't think that we're worried about that there. And I do believe that we can mutually cancel this.
Okay. So if on a day that you have community neutering, and I know there's always cancellations and no-shows, do we keep a list? I know that we do in my district. I just don't know about the rest of the districts, of people that can fill those spots, and we usually fill them then?
Yeah, we generally overbook the events so that because we know that there's going to be a certain amount of cancellations.
Okay.
So we account for that.
That was my only concern. I just don't want it to end up costing us money, so.
Absolutely.
Okay. With that, I'm going to move the item.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we are now 3.23? Is that where we are?
Yes.
Okay. Is it the same person? 3.23,
Yes, we have
3.24,
one speaker.
3.25, 3.26, 3.27, 3.28? Can we combine this? Mr. Roy Bleckard? We'll go beyond the 3 minutes for you even.
I wanted to pull these all, which is about $50 million or close to it, in these so-called affordable housing projects. They do nothing but raise the cost of housing, as we see in California. We don't even have to debate this. And even though you may help the person that you may help, how many people people are you hurting? 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 who can't afford a home, who are out there busting their rear end, not only paying for that house for that other person, but can't afford one for themselves. It's precisely how you can have a record $10+ billion budget, yet things get more out of control. You can't help this, you can't provide for that. There's only one way in all of recorded human history how this works, and that's if you let the free market work. The communist rule doesn't work, the socialist rule doesn't work. It eventually collapses of its own weight, just like the budget in this county is doing right now, by your own admission and your own records and your own agendas and reports that you put out every meeting. So it needs to be put forward to the people of exactly what you're doing. Like with your legislative analysts, you try to put that perception in. Like as you heard the previous speaker in Temecula, yeah, oh, it was going to be this, but guess what you got? Housing. Did you deliver in Temecula what was promised? This is where, when government gets involved, the odds are 9,432% that it's going to go haywire. When do we stop this? Royism 101, no matter how well-intentioned any government project is, it will wind up in graft, failure, and corruption. I don't know how many times we've got to go through this, but at the last meeting when I was accused of being rude, if telling the truth is rude, you're going to get it ruder, cruder, and lewder, because the truth will be told. It should be told. You should be telling it. That's your job. And it's sad that that does not happen every day.
Okay, I would like to make a comment on that. You know, I'm not a big fan of having all this government money outside of the county, coming from the federals, the state. We end up eventually paying that. But if they're going to have money available and they're going to give that particular money out somewhere, I am going to try and get it for our county. Every single one of these items, very clearly in them, in 3.23, the 18.5 million is federal funding through HUD. On 3.24, the 20 million is HCD funds, that's state funds. 3.25 is 100% State of California Department of Community Services and Development funds, that's 5.7 million. The Housing Workforce Solutions on 3.26 is, there's no funny money involved that one. 3.27, and through District 3, 2.3 million is remaining. We were given the American Rescue Plan dollars, ARPA dollars. We are spending every penny that was given to us and not returning back to the government. Somebody's going to get it. We're going to keep it here. Whether we like it or not, it was money that was given, but I would rather have it in Riverside County than anyplace else. 3.28 was $330,000 in District 5, comes out of the Unincorporated Communities Initiative, which is our job in the county, is to cover those unincorporated areas. So it's money that's not taken, it is money that is available that we reach out for. And with that, I will support this item.
What are we voting all the way through 28?
I said 328.
Okay.
That's the UCI funds.
I'm just confirming.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Okay.
Yes.
That is all
Yes.
our items pulled, correct? We are now on, I guess we sit down, flipping all these pages, I apologize. We are now on so make sure I'm not missing anything. We've done all the items pulled for discussion. We're now on public hearings, 21.1. Okay, just to make sure we're where we're supposed to be. And this is with our fire department. Whoever wants to present, I don't care.
Good morning, Madam Chair, board members, executive office. My name is Jeff Pemberton, and I serve as the Chief Deputy for Riverside County Fire. Well, before you this morning, the fire department is asking you to hold a public hearing and move for adoption of Resolution 2026-053, and authorize the fire department for the abatement of hazardous vegetation and orchard abatement administrative fee under Ordinance 695. That ordinance specifically relates to the hazardous abatement of vegetation, as well as Ordinance 772, the abatement of abandoned or neglected orchards, groves, and vineyards. This is an item that we bring before you, and we're asking for a change of our current fee of $254 per parcel that we assess if they have not cleared their fees or their weeds, and increase that to $280 per parcel. This is something that has been validated by our auditor controller and has not been updated since 2011.
Did you say 280 or 380?
380.
380.
It's currently 254.
50 to 380. And who determined this?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is it who determined this? The auditor controller?
The auditor controller
okay.
validates the numbers. They're based upon our current...
He's in the back of the room, is why I said that.
Based upon our current salaries for the employees.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Chief? Okay, we will open the public hearing. Do we have anybody address us on this item?
No, there are no speakers.
Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the board to vote. And that passes 5-0. Okay, the next item is also fire department.
So this is related to our weed abatement liens from 2025. This is a list of the parcels that we were found in non-compliance, and we hired a vendor via the county to abate the weeds. We've notified the homeowner or the property owners and have not received that payment. Up into the final date, which I believe is July 30th, we will still accept their payments and mark that off before we move that forward. But we're asking that you hold a public hearing for the adoption of Resolution 2026-066, ordering and confirming the special assessments and liens against parcels of land located within Riverside County for the costs of weed abatement for the removal of hazardous weeds for calendar year 2025.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Chief? Seeing none, we will open the public hearing. Do we have anybody address us on this item?
There are no speakers.
No speakers. Seeing none, we will move forward and close the public hearing and vote. And that passes 5-0. Okay, we are now on 21.3. This is the Office of Economic Development. Mr. Franklin.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Supervisors. Mike Franklin with the Office of Economic Development. Item 21.3 is a public hearing setting the fiscal year 26-27 rates for the county service area special assessments. County Ordinance 573, Section 3 sets the parameters for the annual setting of charges for CSAs. Staff recommends opening the public hearing, and after any comments from the public, closing the public hearing and adopting Resolution 2026-070. And staff is available if there are any questions.
Do my colleagues have any questions? Seeing none, we will open the public hearing. Do we have anybody speak on this item?
There are no public speakers.
Seeing none, we'll bring this back to the board for vote. Maybe. There we go. Okay, and that passes 5-0. Thank you very much. Next item, 21.4 is Transportation Land Management Agency.
Good morning, Chair, members of the Board, Executive Office. My name is Sam Shourie. I'm the building official. Item 21.4 updates the fees and rates for permits, including building plan check and inspections. I have a short PowerPoint if it pleases the board to view it, or I can answer any questions that the board may have.
Pleasure of the board? Okay. Seems no questions, no PowerPoint.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Mr. Washington.
He's got PowerPoint with rates and fees? I'll pass.
You'll pass. Okay, thank you, Sam. So we will open the public hearing. Do we have anybody here to address the board?
There are no speakers.
No speakers, so we will close the public hearing and we will take a vote.
Thank you.
Tough job today. We can't vote yet. Okay, 5-0. Thank you for a great presentation.
Okay, thanks. Have one more.
Okay, 21.5, also TLMA.
So 21.5 essentially updates ordinance 457 in terms of the fixed fees for the smaller projects and the deposit amounts. That is basically a consequence of updating the rates from 21.4.
And that's for adoption of ordinance number 457.108.
Correct.
Does anybody want to have any questions for our building official?
It's already been too tough.
Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing. Do we have anybody address the board on this item?
There are no public speakers.
Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for vote. And that passes 5-0. Okay, item 22.1 is another TLMA, but we're asked to continue to August 25th. Do we need to vote on that, sir? Min?
Yes, Chair, mainly because it's a public hearing, so in case there are public speakers out there. So yes, please vote on it.
Okay, we will open the public hearing on 22.1. Do we have any speakers on this item? Do we keep the public hearing open then?
Yes, mainly because this has been continued, so
Okay.
you just asked for it.
So we will vote to continue this public hearing. Oh, XTN's gone. Okay. So that's 4-0. And 22.2. This is another. Boy, you're busy today. TLMA. So this is, well, hello.
Good morning.
You have public comments on this one.
A few.
Won't be so easy on you today.
I'll swap with Sam next time. So yes, I'm Russell Brady presenting for staff, agenda item number 21.2, which consists of foundation component general plan amendment number 240051. The purpose of the foundation component GPA, or general plan amendment, is a request to change the foundation component of 3 parcels totaling 29.34 acres from rural to community development, and the land use designation from rural residential to medium density residential. The ultimate intent of the change is for an implementing project that is intended to subdivide the 3 parcels into approximately 70 single-family residential lots, and that those lots will range in size from approximately 10,000 square feet to 15,000 square feet. The project site is located within the 4th Supervisorial District, specifically located north of Dillon Road, south of Hacienda Avenue, east of Mountain View Road, and west of Long Canyon Road. The site is located within the Hot Springs policy area as shown on the exhibit here. On the screen here is a map of the current foundation component GPA projects with the current subject GPA outlined in red. As you had noted, Chair, there were some public comments received in the past day, and those were included in the memo provided to the board this morning. With the inclusion of those comments for consideration by the board, the staff recommendation is to consider for the board to consider initiation, and if recommended, then requiring the adoption of an order initiating Foundation Component General Plan Amendment 240051, and then requiring the applicant to submit the implementing project within 6 months. The applicant does have a brief presentation, which the board can, or which the applicant can provide to the board if the board desires. And then after that, staff and the applicant are available for questions by the board. I'll turn it over.
Page separator.
Apologies for that on the format.
Pardon? They signed up for a public comment.
Is there anyone else?
Yes, we do have 4 public speakers.
Okay, all right.
Got it. Thank you, board members. I'll keep it very brief, as this has already gone to Planning Commission, and we've discussed a lot of those issues. A couple points I do want to make is this is right outside the city limits of Desert Hot Springs, as you can see in this this map, directly across from Visitor Serving Commercial and directly across from existing development. You can see the lots just to the northwest and also to the north going up to Hacienda is well developed. The city in the last 20 years, I used to work in the planning department there, but as part of their citywide comprehensive general plan update, they've pretty much always looked at this land in their sphere and pre-designated as a low-density residential with 7,900 square foot lots. We're looking conceptually, we haven't gotten there because it's not a formal submittal, but we're looking at a little bit larger lots and maybe with the market, smaller homes to keep it affordable. I know mid-century modern is very popular in Palm Springs or Pueblo, Mediterranean, something consistent with the desert. So I just wanted to point out that this is within the sphere. Next slide, please. Oh, I've got it. This is a hand-drawn. After Planning Commission, I've been contacted by a lot of neighboring property owners. They've are forming a coalition to try and get annexed into the city. So this is from last year. There are more and more neighboring property owners that want to do similar and annex in, or go through the same process and look at doing low density residential.
So you're saying these 3 lots solely are trying to be annexed in?
The gray is my clients, my current client. The blue is one property owner, and they own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots. Karen owns the one highlighted in the kind of fuchsia pink. There's a property owner owns the 4 directly to the north. And there's another property owner that we've highlighted in yellow. I spoke with her over the weekend, and she said that she's talked to more property owners. So when we get to a formal submittal, we're going to bring this all forward. We do want responsible development, consistent with the neighborhood. But they, like I said, they are forming a coalition. The city's not willing to pick up the tab. So, it goes on the property owners. They come up with all, the plans, the architects, the civil engineering, all that, upwards of $200,000. So they're, it's a little bit stalled,
Sure.
based on that, as far as annexation.
Is your goal to get the rest of those so that?
Well, that's
so
what
that's
I'm going to be
one
working
block.
on.
Otherwise, it looks like gerrymandering. You're looking at getting that whole.
No, it would be this entire.
Okay.
From that whole rectangular area.
Okay. Thank you.
Because LAFCO is not going to want to, they're going to
Right,
want
that's what I was
natural
asking.
lines. So we're looking at that whole rectangular area. I'm sorry.
Talking about the gray area?
That is what's before you.
What we're talking about right now.
Yes.
Not everything else.
Yes.
Everything else is maybe.
Correct.
Right now, we don't know about that.
Everything else is
All
rural
right, so let's not
residential.
talk about that. Let's talk about the gray area.
Yes.
So you're saying the gray area, the folks around you very quickly, you said they want to get annexed?
Well, that's what they've been discussing, or
Okay, have
do
you
the
been to
same
community
process.
council? You guys been to the community council on this?
I've talked with staff, because it's in the county's jurisdiction, they weren't willing to do a formal letter of support.
Okay,
Maybe
but
if-
is that part of this item, the annexation? You're not. So let's not talk
yet.
about it.
No, not yet.
Okay.
That has not been initiated.
Okay, let's not bring that into this discussion because that's down the road.
Separate matter, okay.
Okay, let's,
Okay, but let me get to my district. So the gray area, that is within the county, which is within either Desert Edge or Sky Valley, correct?
It is within the county, directly across from the city limits of Desert Hot Springs.
Can you help them out, Rania, or
I'm sorry?
John, which community council are we talking about here?
Thank you, Supervisors. The item before us today is simply an initiation of a general plan foundation change, which does include the 3 parcels outlined in gray before you. Those are the only parcels being considered today. The others, I think he was trying to provide context of what may be happening in the future around the area, but only up for consideration today is just those 3 parcels.
I'm not asking that question. Which community council is that gray area part of?
Which,
Community council.
oh, that I'm not sure of.
It's immediately adjacent to the city of Desert Hot Springs. So which one serves that area is
All right.
Thousand Palms.
So I assume you haven't been to the community council because you don't know which community council I may be referring to.
Not yet.
All right.
Not
All
yet.
right, go ahead.
So that, just to wrap that up, this is essentially just to show neighbor support is growing. But this, as John mentioned, we're only looking at these 3 parcels in the gray. And I do want to mention also, because it's been in the city's sphere and their pre-designation, the county's classification for this road is a secondary classification, which I believe is a 130-foot ultimate right-of-way. I'm not sure if that would be 4 lanes, but, okay. So, but it is classified as a secondary road. So that would, and it already has power, water, electricity, sewers very nearby. So it has all the utilities and that infrastructure, and potentially the DIF fees going toward reaching the county's goals for the road. With that, that's the extent of my presentation. We're just looking to move forward with a formal submittal, and then we'll do all the engineering, environmental, bio, traffic, all of that will be done in formal submittal. I have heard some of the public comments about the traffic and safety and speeds of the road as part of a future potential track map or formal submittal. We would potentially, we'd look at the traffic, probably do a traffic study, and if need be, we could do acceleration, deceleration lanes at the entrance to the housing to help mitigate, so that nobody's pulling out in high-speed traffic. So,
Okay.
That concludes my presentation.
Just here for the public.
okay, we will go ahead and, unless you have any more comments, Supervisor Perez?
No, I want to hear from the public now,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
We will open the public hearing.
We have 4 public speakers signed up. The first is Daniel Zox. Daniel was given time from Priscilla Sanchez. Is she in the audience? Priscilla? Thank you. He was also given time from David Del Valle. Is David in the?
I'd like to get my time back.
What's that?
I'd like to get my time back. I'm David Del Valle.
Okay, and you wanted to speak?
Yeah, I want to speak.
Okay. So Daniel will have 6 minutes.
How long?
Away. I had 9, but now I have 6.
6 minutes?
But you now have 6 minutes.
Now I have 6.
Sorry.
It's okay. Just to say, it's not. I wasn't going to address the applicant directly, but he's talking about, like, he's trying to place these 3 parcels in context of the greater area, which is what I'm going to address in terms of the rural designation. A few of the parcels, one of the parcels that he just referred to is actually mine, so he's not honestly telling the truth. They aren't really talking to neighbors. They're trying to make it seem like that there's all this agreement around the area. We're just talking about these 3 parcels, and it's kind of like an alien ship is landing in this rural area. Good morning, Chair Spiegel and members of the Riverside County Board of Supervisors. My name is Daniel Zox, and I am a nearby property owner. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I respectfully urge the board to deny this foundation general plan amendment. This proposal is not simply about 70 homes, they say plus or minus. It is a request to move approximately 30 acres from the rural foundation to the community development foundation of Riverside County's general plan. The applicant has never explained why such a fundamental change to the rural designation is necessary. This is a significant policy decision. As you know, the general plan is the county's long-term blueprint for growth and development. It is intended to guide development, not be changed simply because a development proposal has been submitted. Additional housing and tax revenue does not automatically justify changing the county's long-term planning framework. They have not proved redesignation would provide public benefits sufficient to outweigh the reasons the county originally placed this land in the rural foundation. The rural designation is not an accidental or temporary placeholder. Riverside County adopted its current general plan in 2003, and the Western Coachella Area Valley Plan has been reviewed and updated numerous times since then, most recently in 2022. The county has repeatedly had opportunities to reconsider land use designations in this area and has chosen to retain the rural designation. This history demonstrates that the designation reflects a deliberate and enduring planning choice rather than a temporary condition of the parcels waiting for future development. The area plan states that growth should be focused in areas already served by public facilities and services, and that the rural and open space character of remote areas should be protected through rural land use designations. It further states that the vast majority of the Western Coachella Valley should remain rural and open space, helping preserve community identity and distinct community edges, such as between Desert Hot Springs and Desert Edge and Desert Hot Springs. The absence of development is not evidence that the rural designation has failed. Preservation of open land, environmental values, scenic character, and separation from urbanized areas, and you can see it here on the map that I've provided, particularly Desert Hot Springs north and west of the parcels, is precisely the outcome the designation was intended to achieve. You can see how the separation between Desert Hot Springs and the northwest and Desert Edge, this rural land has been kept rural in general. I understand that additional project review may occur later. However, today's decision is not merely whether a future project can be studied in more detail. Today's decision is whether the county should change its long-term land use vision for these parcels. Once the designation is changed, the county has already made a significant policy determination that more intensive development is appropriate in this area. That decision should be made only after the board is satisfied that the public benefits outweigh the reasons the county has consistently retained the rural designation. Serious infrastructure concerns remain unresolved. To get specific, accommodating this project may require significant roadway improvements, including major widening of Mountain View Road north-south and surrounding roads. The surrounding road network is already limited, including a lack of eastbound connectivity. Major routes south of the area, including Indian Canyon, Gene Autry Trail, and Vistachino, have experienced repeated closures due to flooding, wash crossings, blowing sand, and low visibility conditions, including within the last 6 months. These are documented and recurring events experienced by many of us in the room. Before adding dozens of new homes, the county should understand how residents and emergency responders will reliably access the area when regional routes are disrupted, like the southern roads that I just mentioned. Fire safety is also a concern. Before increasing residential density, the county should understand whether emergency response, access, water supply, insurance availability, which I personally had difficulty securing, and related public safety infrastructure are adequate to serve additional homes in this area. There are also environmental considerations, including the potential desert tortoise habitat, which comes from the southeast into this area, on these parcels that should be fully evaluated before county changes the land use designation for the parcels. This is a private applicant-initiated request. The burden should be on the applicant to demonstrate that redesignation serves the public interest and is supported by adequate infrastructure, fire safety, access planning, the fiscal impacts of required public infrastructure improvements, which are significant, and the applicant was trying to sort of shift that a bit, including who will pay for them and environmental review. For these reasons, I respectfully ask the board to deny this general plan amendment and retain the rural designation. Thank you.
David Del Valle, followed by Barbara Wilkes.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is David Del Valle. I'm an actual neighbor to that parcel and his neighbor as well. No one's come to me and talked to me about annexing. No one said, oh yeah, we're gonna annex it and we're gonna go ahead and use you guys as support. Nobody asked us that. They're gonna go ahead and reduce the mobility of the people that are already living in this area. Because what's happening is it's only a 2-lane road between 2 huge mountain or hill areas. So if you're gonna expand that to a 4-lane road, you're gonna have to knock out those mountains, which has a house on top of it. This is ridiculous. The infrastructure that needs to be done, the amount of land that needs to be leveled to even house 70 houses is ridiculous for that area. You're gonna be putting at least 2 cars per household in that area because most people have 2 cars, husbands, wives, children, even more. What's gonna happen is gonna cause so much congestion. There's already traffic, there's already accidents that happen on a monthly basis. There's some huge accidents, usually huge, because no one can see each other over the hill and they're trying to go fast and doing stupid crap, if you excuse my language. But adding 70 houses, and these people only want profits. They're not here to understand that the community does not want to be annexed. I've been living there for over 8 years now. And I love my community. We're a small community. We live on a dirt road. We don't have no asphalt. We don't have anything going on, except that we have a nice area to live in. When you destroy that, you destroy views, you destroy animal habitats. There's tons of road runners, coyotes, and things that just run naturally through that area. This is very, very, very wrong to the people who are living there. You're just going to be adding more and more congestion, more problems, and more aggravation when people start getting the fact that we all got to go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and this road is backed up from Dillon all the way to Hacienda. And that happens. That road does get built, backed up from north to south from Dillon. And that right there is already a sign that we don't need another 70 houses, 2 more cars per house, more the school bus system. Even the school bus system has a hard time because they have to drop people off at the houses that are already on the other side in Desert Hot Springs. It is a very congested area in the mornings and in the afternoons and the evenings. Adding 70 more houses, adding all these vehicles, people, the infrastructure is going to cost a lot. They say they have electricity and sewage. Yeah, it's on the main drag, but you got 70 houses going inward with these 3 parcels. How much is that going to cost for the infrastructure? Really? And who's going to be pocketing that? Who's going to be fronting all that money to help the taxpayers, right? Are they going to build all the infrastructure? Are they going to put an asphalt road down our road? Because if they are considered an enclosed area, the 3 parcels are just enclosed, that means there's only 1 entrance and 1 exit. That right there is just going to cause a lot of problems. Thank you. I'm a little upset. Sorry about that, but I appreciate it.
Thank you for your comments.
Barbara Wilkes. Barbara was given time from Steve Wilkes. Is he in the audience?
I just got out of the hospital. That's been okay.
Just to come here today?
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Barbara Wilkes, and I am a resident on Mountain View Road. I am here today on behalf of my family, my neighbors, to strongly oppose the zoning change for the 30-acre site north of Mountain View Hill. Changing this land from rural low-density to medium-density residential to add 70 single-family homes is a direct threat to public safety. We have lived through countless close calls and accidents on this road. So we looked up the official California Highway Patrol data for 2022 to 2025. The numbers are staggering. In just 4 years, Mountain View Road has seen 56 traffic accidents and 82 injuries. The top 2 causes of these crashes are speeding and unsafe lane changes. People do not drive the speed limit here. As it stands, the 12 families on the hill share a single driveway with a blind entry onto the road. Neighbors, including my own daughter, my husband, and myself, have already been hit trying to pull out onto this fast road. Most alarming of all is the exact stretch of road right next to this proposed project. The area between Lewis Ann Road and Bruner Lane is a deadly bottleneck. The CHP database shows that 15 serious traffic incidents happened right there, causing 24 injuries. Worse yet, this exact bottleneck is where the only traffic fatality on Mountain View Road occurred, right at the Lewis Ann Road intersection. How can we legally or morally approve adding 70 more families and over 100 more cars to pull in and out of a documented deadly bottleneck or contribute more to it? Furthermore, Mountain View Road is a vital regional bypass. Whenever wind, sand, or flooding closes Gene Autry or Indian Canyon, our road becomes the only way out for thousands of people in Desert Hot Springs and Sky Valley. 5 days a week, we already suffer through bumper-to-bumper stop-and-go gridlock that backs up for 3.4 miles from Lewis Ann to Varner Road. The infrastructure simply cannot handle this. Adding density will completely paralyze this road and trap residents during emergencies. Adding this many homes can only work if Mountain View Road is widened to 4 lanes first. Until the county fixes this infrastructure and stops the crashes, a high-density development here is too dangerous. Please protect our lives and deny this zoning change. Thank you. And furthermore, we all bought our land for the wide open spaces and the critters that go walking through. We are totally in love with this land. Please don't let them ruin it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I wish to enter this into,
You can leave it here, man.
where?
Just hand it to this guy right here.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Roy,
Take that.
never mind. Paul, somebody take it from him.
Our next speaker is online, Guy Roosevelt.
Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi. Okay, my name is Guy Roosevelt, and I am a neighbor of Barbara Wilkes and of Daniel and all the people that have spoken so far. And the same with them. I have heard nothing about any kind of annexing into the county. Most of the stuff they said has not been true. But I have a personal issue with this particular project. But if you look at, I don't know if you saw the diagram of the project is an L shape. And inside that L shape is 2 5-acre properties. One of those is mine and one of them is my acre. So basically, this property wraps around my property and cuts me off from the rest of the neighborhood. Worse, as Barbara said, that the only egress I have is out a dirt road which would be probably the back end egress of this housing development, the secondary egress, which would then have a huge amount of cars, which is a dirt road, going down a hill, which is actually a private road. It's not even a county road, it's a private road because the county didn't maintain the county road, which washed away in a rain some years ago. So, I don't expect the developer to purchase the easements because none of us want to sell our easements to support this project. I don't see how they're going to support the traffic for all this. There is a hot springs policy area, which is a protected area just a short distance from this proposed project, which is designated for maintaining hot springs for the use of residential or for recreational use. This project potentially could seriously impact that hot springs area in terms of contamination of the aquifer and other types of stuff. So I strongly oppose this project because selfishly it does impact me. It cuts me off from my neighbors, but most importantly is it changes the nature of this area from what it was, which was a protected area of nature that we all moved into to have a nice, quiet quality of life. So now I'm going to have literally 70 houses outside my front door, right on my property line. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that was our last speaker.
So the four, just Daniel, David, Barbara, and Guy. Okay. That was it.
Okay. Well, thank you to all the speakers, as well as the developer who came in with this concept. I'd like to hear from staff your thoughts on this. I firmly think that it's not cooked yet, but I'd like to hear from you why we've been listening to this right now.
Thank you, Supervisor Rania Odenbaugh, TLMA Agency
Can I
Director.
close the public hearing?
Sure.
Before
Sorry,
we,
Supervisor.
I'm going to close the public hearing.
Let's close.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's closed.
Thank you, Supervisor Rania Odenbaugh, TLMA Agency Director. While typically initiations of foundational general plan amendments do not require the same level of outreach associated with our regular entitlements, in this particular case, it's evident that the applicant did not attempt to conduct any type of outreach with the community. And with that, TLMA feels it's appropriate to pull that item back and defer it to a later time, giving the applicant an opportunity to reach out to the Desert Edge MAC, establish that communication, have further discussions, and return back before the board at a later time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, look, we need to build more housing. That's correct. At the end of the day, we lack affordable housing. I'm not sure how affordable this housing is, but that is one area that we really need to do a better job of as a county, as a state of California as a whole. And I know we've been making some major strides, but I'm not sure if this type of project, this amendment, would allow or would cause the developer to actually build affordable housing units. Don't know. As well, I hear all the concerns. We hear from everybody that lives in these areas, and believe me, I know the area very well. I grew up near the area, and I understand where you're coming from and why you potentially moved there. Whether it's safety issues, infrastructure issues, obviously the concerns around congestion. The list goes on and on and on, but we hear that from everybody. It's almost like it becomes NIMBYism. And that's what I want to make sure that we are careful with. We have to have some sort of balance here. Now, I'm not saying that we move forward with this now, but what I am saying is that we have to have a conversation in which we do discuss what is that community benefit. Because that community benefit may mean that we expand that road. The community benefit may mean that we work with the school districts so we have better public safety measures so that youth are not hit by a vehicle like it happened before already down the road. I understand that. Or the accidents that have occurred on Dillon. I understand that as well. But more importantly, out of all this, obviously electricity, water, infrastructure, all that good stuff, is having a conversation with the folks that are in charge of that area, how I see it, and that is the community council. At least have some sort of conversation with them. Bring this issue, even though potentially it's an amendment, it may not require it, but how I see it is, in order for you to stop, let's say, folks from coming and not supporting your project, one way to do that is obviously to have a conversation with them, have an open forum, and maybe there's a way in which there may be some balance. Folks may be willing to meet halfway. It is what it is. At this point, I'm not prepared to support this, and I'm not sure if maybe we just continue the item, take this back, and allow the developer to start talking to folks, because you just saw right now the opposition. That's just these folks that are here. I know that there's more. I know for a fact there's a lot more. And so I want to ask the developer to really think about what he's trying to do here and ensure that ultimately, especially the neighbors, understand what's happening. So, Madam Chair, I'm not exactly sure how to propose this, but I'd rather propose that we continue the item, or I'm not sure if there's a way to say this, but
TLMA would like to recommend continuing the item off calendar until the applicant is fully ready and prepared to return with a full outreach update.
okay. Well, I support that.
That's your motion?
That's my motion, Madam Chair.
Okay, why don't you push the button? Okay, and that continuance is a 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are now at public comment.
Okay, we have 21 speakers signed up. Robert Cluley, followed by Gary Walcott.
Is Gary here? Or Robert, right, excuse me, Robert?
Yeah, Robert Cluley. Gary Walcott.
Heavy.
My name is Gary Richard Walcott. I'm a victim of embezzlement, elderly extortion. My mother created a trust on September 25th, 2003. On the same day she put in a First and Second Amendment, she said that she made mistakes, and I wasn't aware. On the same day, giving me everything, only if I predecease or fail to survive, then the family gets a portion. On April 19th, 2005, I was not aware of it till like 10 years later, going to spending $250,000 in court fees. I go to the county assessors. They screamed. They said, "Oh my God, Mr. Walcott, your mother transferred the trust from parent to child to you on April 19th, 2005, 1 year, 9 months, 1 year, 7 months after she made the trust. She said she dissolved the trust. She gave it to you as sole owner. They embezzled my property through the courts. My sister is Diane Lee Ward. She worked for Saul. Saul's wife is Karen Spiegel. And is that correct?
No.
Oh, do you know Saul?
Saul who?
Actually, is it Bobby in Corona and Oracle Chamber of Commerce, where my sister worked?
Diane, yeah.
Yes, Diane Ward. She worked for your husband, correct?
But it's not Saul.
Yeah, well, I went to your office when this embezzlement took place, and I never got a response from you. And I didn't know who you were. Later, I found out when I thought the world of your husband, being that I love the Jewish people and I have a Jewish flag flying under my American flag on California Avenue, 4780 California Avenue. I find out at a speech for Chad Bianco over at that restaurant in Corona, French restaurant. Well, anyways, you spoke there, and I talked to your husband, and he said, I was your sister's boss. And then I find out from Lizette Free in City of Norco that you are his wife. And it all came to, but it's funny, a fake map was put for my property 20 miles away in a different farm zone, in a different district, an archived map that is 50 years old that came out of a box. This is a dozen houses now. This was the only document in the county of Riverside. This was the only document in the city of Norco on my records of over 70 years. This is pure corruption. This is embezzlement. And it's going to take federal people like Cash Patel, like Tom Holman, to bring justice here. I won't stop. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, Eddie, followed by Lisa Matus.
That was the most bizarre thing I've heard.
All right. Well, good morning. And has Mike Histanovich, has he read these rules? Like disorderly, contemptuous, or insolent behavior toward the board. Has he read this? Did he laugh? Garbage. Garbage. Oh, there's some trash in there. Well, I guess I'll throw it away later. Ran into one of my students the other day, and she's like, oh my God, Eddie, are you okay? We heard what happened. I talked to What's-Her-Face the other night. She told me everything. I'm like, I'm okay. Because my students are going to be listening now, right? And they're like, because they were there when I'm like, this is not good. I'm going to march on down to City Hall and give them a piece of my mind so they know exactly what everything's going on here. This is, and so I want to tell my students that I'm okay, right? I'm not out here hunting demons and pedophiles and rapists, not expecting to catch a few fingers. Joke's on them. I'm into this. I volunteered for this. So back to work. The UK now has rape gangs, right? You guys hear about the rape gangs in UK? And everybody's like, oh, excited. They're like, oh my God, they're raping these women in the UK. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I really don't. You know why? Because the Riverside County Sheriff is raping people within 300 yards of here. 300 yards. They're raping. There's rape gangs inside the Riverside County Sheriff. Ooh, gross, right? But nobody's going to do anything about it, right? Because this has been going on for a long time. Like if somebody came in here and I was one of you guys and somebody's like, hey, they're raping people next door. All these people have to walk around with rapists next door. I'd like stop everything and I said, we're going to look into this. But there's nobody looking into this, is there? Do we know? Do we know if there's rapists working for our sheriff's department or not? Or do we care? Do you think it's a big deal? Do you think there's mass scale rape going on in this, like organized, systematic rape going on with our sheriff or no? Yes or no? I got a team now, and I think my team doesn't play games either. And I'm like, well, what fun is that?
Lisa Matus, followed by Sukhbir Gill.
Hi, my name is Sukhbir Singh Gill, a human and civil rights advocate, a member of the Riverside Sheriff's Accountability Committee, and resident of District 2 for 36 years. I'm here to address the grand jury report, not to elaborate on it because my colleagues have done that and the document is available to you. What I wanted to address is that the public trust, what I want to address about it is the public trust. The accountability that accountability brings and builds better relationships with the community. Students and dean of policies from UCR were here earlier this year, and one of the concerns of the constituents was public safety. Public safety creates security, but it is hindered and eroded when a civil grand jury report comes out and there's multiple findings and discrepancies. Litigation time and time again having taxpayers pay for the flaws of a system that is refusing to adapt and progress with a society and cities that produce larger economic growth and development. A sheriff who lied to the board about saying, "You're not gonna give me any more money." Chad Bianco is a habitual liar. I saw he directed it towards Washington. He's a habitual liar. Bianco is a habitual liar. It would be a disservice and an insult to the intelligence of 2.9 million residents that we sweep under the rug the discrepancies and allow sheriffs to act above the law. I believe in the Board of Supervisors that this is not a partisan issue. I'm not here to berate you. I hope we can have a civil conversation about this moving forward to build that trust with the public as a resident who wants the best for the people. Thank you.
Anthony Noriega, followed by Yusuf Miller.
Who did you call the first one, Aim?
Anthony Noriega.
Are you Anthony?
No, he left. So.
Okay, he left. Okay, and you're Yosef Miller.
Yusef Miller, yes.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Yusef Miller with Saving Lives in Custody, California, and a supporter of Riverside Sheriff's Accountability Coalition. And oversight is necessary, an independent oversight for Riverside County. This is the only thing that will support the constitutional rights of the county. We're looking at the CDCR's Title 15, which dedicates proper due process and protection of our citizens that are inside our custody, and transparency is the process on where we can get justice for these people and make sure that their rights are upheld according to the Constitution of the state and according to the Constitution of this nation, the 14th Amendment for the nation and the Article 1 of California's Constitution. These constitutions are being violated as we sit right now, and we don't have proper insight. The Sheriff's Accountability Committee, although it might be some fine people on it, needs to be disbanded. It is not in the proper standards of NACO, the National Association for the Civilian Oversight of Law Enforcement. It is not in the proper format to really have a true and honest advice going to the Sheriff's Department if they all fall under the sheriff. They have to be independent. There's no way they're going to speak up against their boss when they serve at the pleasure of the sheriff. How can we get any honesty? How can we get any transparency? How can we get any accountability? We have to have, according to the grand jury and according to everywhere, that we have to have an independent oversight of the Sheriff's Department, someone who is not beholden to the Sheriff's Department, but is reporting on what's going on in our jails, what is going on in the activities of our deputies as they're policing our communities, and what's going on in the system in general. Sheriff Bianco is afraid of transparency, apparently, and he's afraid of accountability. That's why he doesn't want transparency. When you find that a person is avoiding transparency, they are dodging accountability. And if that's not the case, open transparency so we can find out. Have accountability as a tool to weed out the broken parts of the sheriff's department. It is not the enemy. It is something that will provide trust in the community, trust in the county, to the Board of Supervisors to let them know that our loved ones, although they made a mistake, although they crossed over into law enforcement, their civil rights are still being maintained and upheld. That's what we owe them as citizens. That's what we owe them as people who live in our county. And we should not shirk that responsibility. They rely on us. And you see behind me many families, some of them couldn't stay for the whole time, who's lost loved ones and will continue to fight to their last breath because that civil right was abridged and it cost us lives in the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paloma Serna.
My name is Paloma Serna. I'm the mother of Elisa Serna, who died in custody on November 11, 2019 in San Diego County Jail by medical neglect by deputies and medical staff. I'm also with Saving Lives in Custody, California. For years, families have stood at this podium telling you that people are dying in Riverside County jails, that there is no transparency, no accountability, and no independent oversight. Your own civil grand juror has confirmed exactly what the community has been saying. The report found that Riverside County has no independent civilian oversight, no meaningful transparency, inadequate reporting of in-custody death, and a sheriff advisory committee that has failed to produce meeting minutes, finding, recommendation, or measurable results. This isn't political. This isn't an opinion. This isn't coming from grieving family. This is coming from an official grand jury investigation. The question is, what are you going to do about it? How many more people have to die before the board finally acts? The grand juror has made 9 recommendations, including the creation of an independent civilian oversight commission under AB 1185 with subpoena authority, independent staffing, public reporting, and independent review of in-custody deaths. You have the legal authority to implement these recommendations. You have had the authority all along. Meanwhile, instead, this board has allowed politics and fear of challenging the sheriff's office to take priority over accountability. Meanwhile, families bury their loved ones. Taxpayers are paying millions in wrongful death settlements, and public trust continues to collapse. If you ignore this report, you are making a choice. You are choosing secrecy over transparency. You are choosing excuses over accountability. Create independent oversight and prove that no one, not even Chad Bianco, is above accountability. Thank you.
Shawnee Beeman, followed by Reverend Jane Quant.
Honorable board members, I am here today to uplift the civil grand jury report issued on May 7th. Man, the grand jury did your homework for you. Last year you said you wanted more information, more conversation. We sure have that now. The grand jury conducted extensive interviews, primarily with law enforcement. They reviewed documents, news articles, visited facilities, and analyzed oversight entities throughout the state, the nation, as well as here locally in Riverside. After their research into the issue, they have provided a full-throated validation of the need for oversight of our sheriff's office. Who else do you need to hear from? Community members have been reaching out to you for years. Journalists and editorialists have written article after article about problems in our jails and the criminal actions of some of our sheriff deputies. Now your own grand jury has taken time to talk to law enforcement, review the evidence, draw fact-based conclusions, and make substantial recommendations. What more information do you need? You know the problems. You signed off on the settlement checks. Do you have confidence that the mistakes made are fully understood and training updated to prevent costly reoccurrence, costs that is paid in lives and in taxpayer funds? Will correction officers respond to detainees' calls for help on behalf of their roommate before death? Will it still take blood seeping under the cell door before a correction officer checks on the welfare of the occupant? Or will we pay another $7.5 million for the beating death of a man in custody only to sleep off intoxication? Or will we again watch on news video footage as 2 county sheriff deputies beat and handcuff a 10-year-old student in a classroom and have our sheriff state that they saw no problem with the deputies' actions? Of course, a federal judge saw problems when he ruled the deputies' actions constituted civil rights abuses. How many more consequences of inaction do you need to see? Is the sheriff's recent controversial seizure of 650 voter ballots making Riverside County a laughing stock nationally not enough for you? In 2020, you tried, at a time of peak national attention on the need for law enforcement oversight, you acted and formed the Sheriff Advisory Committee. As the grand jury report shows, though, the task was given to a sheriff who either willfully refuses any attempt to accountability or just doesn't understand it. The time for renewed action is now.
Reverend Jane Kwan, followed by Louis Nolasco.
Is Reverend James here?
I'm Jane Kwan.
Jane. Oh, I apologize. I heard James.
I'm here about sheriff accountability. I've been trying, what I'm trying to figure out is what the resistance to this is. I mean, initially, I remember legitimately people were saying, some of you were saying, we need more information. We need to study this more. Good for you. Don't make decisions without good, solid information. And then I remember, though, like it was about a year ago that Jose Medina made a motion to form a committee to study it. And even that didn't pass, where that might have provided more information. But you've had a lot of information now. Now you've got the grand jury report. So it doesn't seem to be that. I'm just trying to figure out what the resistance is. It doesn't seem to be lack of information. So then I wonder, well, maybe it's about money. Maybe it's about money. So I realize that if it isn't done properly, this will not save the county money. But if it's done properly, it's been demonstrated, this will save the county millions of dollars. You've got to have an independent attorney general. You've got to have subpoena power. Those things have to be in place or it won't save money. But if they are in place, we will save a lot of money. So it's not money. But then I thought about something else about money. And I'm sorry to have to say this, but the majority of you get big donations from the Sheriff Association to your campaigns. And I'm not saying that's what the resistance is. I don't know. But as a member of the public, it's hard not to wonder about that. It's hard not to wonder if you're afraid of losing that money yourselves. Maybe not, but maybe yes.
Louis Nolasco, followed by Nathan Kemp.
Good morning, Board. I will be reading a statement on behalf of Lisa Matus, the mother of Richard Matus, who died in 2022. She had to leave, unfortunately, but I have her statement here in front of me. The Riverside County Civil Grand Jury has now confirmed what families, advocates, and community members have been saying for years. The findings are no longer based solely on the testimony of grieving families. They are now supported by an independent grand jury investigation. The question before you today is simple. What are you going to do about it? For years, I and other families have attended meetings, shared evidence, told their stories, and asked this board to implement independent oversight. Time and time again, we were told to wait. We were told more study was needed. We were told there was no problem. We have been called anti-law enforcement, a political stunt, far-left agenda. I still stand before you today, completely disgusted that my son and others' lives do not matter to any of you. I get it. It's not your child that is dead. You all sure do act when it comes to animals, though, and this is facts. Well, now the study has been done. The findings are in. The recommendations have been made. We should not be standing here asking for oversight. Will this board agree with the sheriff that the grand jury report is nothing more than politics, lies, and anti-law enforcement rhetoric? Or will this board recognize the seriousness of these findings and finally take action? If the answer is more delays, more committees, and more studies, then the public will have its answer. California provided you with the authority to establish independent oversight years ago through AB 1185, and the blueprint already exists. I firmly believe that if meaningful oversight had implemented when this board first had the opportunity, many families would not be standing here today. Our children would still be here. Mothers and fathers would still be here. Brothers and sisters would still be here. Oversight cannot bring them back, but it can help prevent future tragedies. The families have done their part. The grand jury has done their part. Now it is time for the board to do its part. The people of Riverside County are watching. The families are watching. History is watching. Will you act, or will you continue to be complicit through inaction? Thank you.
Nathan Kemp, followed by Rabbi Suzanne Singer.
Good morning, Chair Spiegel and Supervisors. I'm Nathan Kemp. I'm the Operations Director at Starting Over Strong, and I'm a founding member of the Riverside Sheriff Accountability Coalition. My question to you today is plain. When will the juice be worth the squeeze? Not 3 miles from here at the corner of Arlington and Magnolia stands the parent navel orange tree that built this region's economy. This tree was given real safeguards before it could die, not after. You don't wait for something or someone to die and call an autopsy a safeguard. Sheriff Bianco says truth matters. So does math, and I'm a math major. I'll put my math on the line against his any day. In his remarks against the report of the grand jury, he excluded 22 and 23, the words used on record. You can't pull out your worst 2 and then say our average is only 7. Put them back in. That number nearly doubles. He did not find an average death rate. He subtracted his way to 1. Sheriff Bianco claims oversight already exists. Look at what he points to. Lawsuits after harm, settlements after harm, consent decree after constitutional failures. These are not safeguards. These are records of what happens after safeguard has fails. The Riverside County Sheriff's Office has cooperated with grand juries for years. He affirmed this process. He affirmed the documents, he affirmed the questions, he answered all of them. Only when oversight is recommended is it politically motivated. If anyone's being political, it is Sheriff Bianco. Sheriff Bianco also claims that there are no innocent people held under his care. This philosophy traps legally innocent neighbors with unfit bail every manufactured day in a system that routinely kills people as a threat to the nearly 4,000 souls he's entrusted with. Their return home need not include his conflict of interest as coroner. His only answer to a broken system is to insist that the system isn't broken. The county owes the people being held in its care the same instinct that people brought for that parent navel tree. Oversight before death, before another autopsy, before another settlement. I ask you again, when will the juice be worth the squeeze? Thank you.
Rabbi Suzanne Singer, followed by Nanette Pratini.
Good afternoon. Almost a year ago, many citizens, including myself, came to the Board of Supervisors to ask that a commission of oversight be created over the sheriff's office in response to the record number of deaths in our county's jails over the past decade. The problem was so bad that the New York Times published 2 articles about it. One was entitled, "The Deadliest Year Inside One of America's Deadliest Jails." Riverside County, California reported its highest detainee death count in decades, including multiple suicides that revealed deep institutional problems. The second article was entitled, "In California Jails, a Rash of Homicide and Negligence." The jails of Riverside County are plagued with unusually high murder rates and recurring security failures by an inexperienced staff. Beyond the devastating loss of life, these cases, of course, as you know, have cost taxpayers millions in settlements. Is this the kind of community we want to live in? Is this the kind of reputation that we aspire to? When we came to you a year ago, you said more research was needed before an oversight commission could be created. That research has now been done by the civil grand jury, which recommends the creation of such a body for accountability and transparency. This grand jury is not a politically motivated body, but one impaneled by the Superior Court and constitutionally charged with protecting taxpayers. We are hopeful that this report and you having it in hand will result in your doing the right thing and follow the grand jury's recommendations. Thank you.
Nanette Pratini, followed by Richard Cortez.
Good afternoon, Supervisors. I know it's been a long day. I'll try and keep this short. I'm Nanette Pratini. I'm here with the Sheriff's Accountability Coalition. I just want to start by reading a few brief phrases from the report itself. A commission designed with structural independence, professional qualifications, clear investigatory authority, balanced membership criteria, and formalized reporting obligations may address concerns regarding politicization while preserving the essential goals of transparency and accountability. Properly structured oversight is not inherently adversarial. When grounded in objective standards and clear governance frameworks, it can function as a collaborative mechanism that strengthens public confidence and institutional credibility. While the RCSO jail system has made some operational improvements, these efforts have lacked a coordinated countywide oversight framework that could identify systemic risk, monitor long-term trends, and ensure sustained compliance with state and federal standards. It's a difficult read, to be sure. It's for all of us, and especially for all of you. But the grand jury is objective, this report is factual, and it's well documented. They've done their work for you, essentially. It has solid research, solid recommendations, and even a funding outline for you. So what's possibly could be the downside? Please do the right thing for the taxpayers and the families and implement these findings as soon as possible.
Richard Cortez, followed by Lisa Sobek and Chandra Carlson.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, gentlemen. My name is Richard Cortez. I reside at 19966 Athenon Avenue, Paris, California, in the Lake Matthews area. I have lived there 43 years. My home is on the corner of Athenon Avenue and Amalfi Drive. There are no sidewalks on either Athenon or Amalfi Drive. In 2008, I put up a 6-foot-tall white vinyl fence around the corner of Athenon and Amalfi. It replaced a chain link fence that was in place when I purchased the home. In late March 2026, a county road crew placed a stop sign on what I thought was my property. Amalfi Drive is a dead-end street and Athenon Avenue ends in the hills. In 43 years, approximately 5 homes have been built in the area surrounding my property. In 43 years, my fences have not blocked access to public utilities. I complained to the County Transportation and Land Management Agency about the stop sign. They sent someone out. The gentleman did not know the reason why the sign was put in, but he did say my fence was on county right-of-way. In April 2026, I received a letter from the TLMA informing me that my white fence was encroaching on county right-of-way by 10 feet, a violation of County Ordinance 499. The letter also informed me my fence was considered a nuisance according to Penal Code Section 370. The letter asked me to remove my fence as soon as possible. I received another letter that informed me that I had 10 days to remove my fence or I would be fined $350 a day. I asked for a field meeting and Mr. Rodriguez came out and explained to me how my fence violated 499 and PC 370. I asked for and received an extension to remove my fence. In my defense, I have this to say. The Riverside County TMLA has retaliated against me because I complained about the stop sign. Why do I say this? Because in the prior 43 years, I have been the property owner. Both the chain link and vinyl fence were not a problem until I complained about placement of the stop sign. I have spoken to several other property owners who have fences or major landscaping that encroaches on county right-of-way, and no one else has received the notices that I have received. Your standards, policies, and ordinances must be applied equally and consistently with all property owners in Riverside County. I ask that you throw out the violation against me because this is a clear sign of retaliation and discrimination. If you can't do this, then I ask that you amend the ordinance so that I and thousands of others can be in compliance. If you can't do any of the two aforementioned, okay, please treat me fairly by citing the thousands of Riverside County homeowners who are in violation of 499 and 370. I thank you very much.
Sir, Mr. Cortez? We have 2 folks over here that would like to talk to you with TLMA. Thank you.
Lisa Sobek and Chandra Carlson, followed by Veronica Langworthy.
Good afternoon, Chair Spiegel and Supervisors. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. Well, first of all, I'm Lisa Sobek, resident of Menifee. I'm here today with Chandra Carlson, resident of Corona. We are on the Communications Council for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for the California Riverside region. And I love what you said. You started today talking about America 250. Well, that's why we're here today. We are doing something, and we have a proclamation for each of you about America 250. And if you don't mind, we'd like to read a little bit of it to you and to be put on the record. Celebrating America's 250th anniversary, 1776 to 2026. Let's see here. The Constitution of the United States has served as a beacon of freedom and self-governance, protecting the moral agency, religious freedom and liberties, and civic participation of generations of Americans. Leaders and citizens throughout our nation continue to recognize the enduring principles, preserving constitutional principles and fostering unity, civility, and respect among all people. Let's see, that Jesus Christ taught, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free," John 8:32, reminding us that liberty flourishes when founded upon truth, virtue, respect for God-given rights, of all people, and president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Dallin H. Oates, taught that the Constitution of the United States is divinely inspired to protect the rights and moral agency of all people and encourage citizens to defend and preserve its inspired principles.
Whereas the commemoration of America 250 provides an opportunity for all citizens to reflect upon our history, honor those who sacrificed for liberty, and recommit ourselves to building a more united and virtuous nation for future generations. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the undersigned leaders of the Riverside region of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, do hereby recognize and celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America and encourage all residents to participate in activities that honor our nation's history, promote civic responsibility, preserve religious liberty, and inspire unity and service throughout our communities. And in the spirit of preserving religious liberty, I want to invite all to participate with us on July 5th for a religious fast for religious freedom throughout the world.
Thank you. We will leave these with the clerk, and maybe we can get a picture afterwards with you.
Remember, love, thank you. Excuse me, please do not blurt out. Courtesy.
Thank you so much.
Veronica Langworthy, followed by Greg Langworthy.
That's real nice.
It's real nice. It's very nice. Well, hello again. Rory's going to help you there.
Okay, hopefully you'll be able to hear me. Good afternoon, supervisors. And it's a civil rights issue before you. Okay, so we did a PRA request for vote by mail collection forms and vote center ballot statements. We received a response from County Council that the not disclosing the record clearly outweighs the public interest served by disclosure of the record, citing this information. And they're being called active drafts and are being edited as needed as numbers are being cross-referenced and verified to certify the election. Okay, so here's a example of an exempt as this document. Let me make it right there. Okay, this is exempt. It is only the good returns. It is from this date to this date. It's after the results are posted, after the polls are closed. So this is an example of an exempt record. This is an example of a non-exempt record. This is the business reply postage, what the USPS charges. This is finances that they are charged. Number of pieces, postage per piece. This is about finances. This is an incoming verification log that is an example from the San Bernardino County, their SOP revised on the 30th of July 2025. Our Riverside County Board of Supervisors allocated funding for software and maintenance updates for the Blue Crest on Election Day 2025, but the Riverside ROV is still using an SOP from 2023. So note that the pieces ran, this information here tells you how many ballot vote by mail envelopes went through the system on a specific day because they knew how to program it because of the SOP they had in effect. And that lines up with this business reply document. Now then, let's see what the non-exempt document looks like. This is a ballot statement. This is what we requested, the ballot statements. And so I'm being emphatic. I'm not being angry or anything. And it says, we further certified the total number of official ballots received, voted, rejected, spoiled, and canceled, found in the ballot container, and the number accounted for is as indicated on the ballot statement. We further certified the assisted voters list and challenge list, show a complete list of all voters assisted or challenged. This is signed by election officials. This is not a draft document. On the September 11th meeting we had with Supervisor Perez and Supervisor Spiegel, Registrar Tinoco said, I cannot write anything on these because these are official documents. This is not a draft. He cannot edit it. And in fact, there is Election Code 15304 that says that they can appoint not less than 3 deputies to open the envelopes or containers when they're returned from the precincts. If after examination, any of the materials are incomplete, ambiguous, not properly authenticated, or otherwise defective, they can inspect it. You know what Doggone it. So anyway, you are our representatives. You speak for us. You have the authority. Please have the registrar provide these to you so you can make finding of fact that the results are full, true, and correct. As our duly elected representatives to speak for us, it is a civil rights issue, just like the other folks who are talking about other civil rights issues. So use your authority, wield your...
Thank you, Veronica.
Greg Langworthy, followed by Mary Valdemar.
Say, Councilor Trant, appreciate the letter. I think it was well done, answered our questions. I think we're getting on the same page as to when we get the documents, which is going to be July 1st. We hope to get all the documents on July 1st, and then we can go ahead and start our audit. We hope to get the post office receipts right now because those are non-exempt records, and then we can at least start on that piece of the puzzle. One encouraging thing I read in the letter was, and I'll just quote from the letter, the records requested are all currently still being referenced and utilized as the date of this letter by Art in order to reconcile the numbers for the canvas. And that really gets to the issue we were talking about yesterday. It looks like we're going to be all on the same page as to what documents we're looking at, which I think would be a big win, because if our team is looking at the same documents that Art's looking at, we should come up with the same numbers, because all we're doing is we're adding Art's numbers together to get the total number of ballots cast in the election. We're going to compare that to the vote total, and it looks like Art needs those ballot statements right now because he is currently using them to reconcile the election report. So I thought that was a big win. So we are hoping to get all those documents on July 2nd, and then we can start our work. And we are also sending a letter out to all the local city councils, because you guys, your elections were not close. A lot of the elections in the city councils were close, and they're going to want to know, were the election results valid? And that's the work that we're going to do, not only for you guys, but for all those local candidates. Is it worth their while to ask for a recount, right? Because they only got 5 days after certification to do it. So we hope to provide that audit for them, and then they can make a decision based on finding of fact. We're going to have to hustle to do it, July 1st and then July 2nd, then 5 days after that, they're going to have to make a decision. But that's our goal. I think we're making progress. County Council Tron has been very responsible and getting back to me. I know this is not a fun process, but he's been very clear with us about what the law is, and we're trying to go back and forth to get common ground, and I think we're getting there. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Valdemar, followed by Taisha Moody.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Mary Valdemar. I'm a community member. I'm also the co-founder for Chica, which is a Chicano indigenous organization, grassroots organization. I'm active with CSEA, the California School Employees Association, and the Coalition of Justice Families, IE. It is so important that you act on the study from the grand jury on accountability. The folks speaking today and those coming before you over the years have been speaking up about the atrocities happening at the hands of Riverside sheriffs for a very long time. Earlier, during your youth presentation, you said, if you don't say anything, things stay the same. We've been speaking up. We don't want things to stay the same here. We don't want one more life lost unnecessarily. The grand jury fully investigated and took seriously those pleas from families over the deaths of real people, many of whom didn't need to be there in the first place. Although the Sheriff's Department argues publicly that these lives don't matter, we know and remind you that they do matter. I've been working alongside these families who tirelessly bring to light the injustice of losing their loved ones and their compelling stories of crisis and the need for other tactics to help with recovery, with mental health, with housing, with prevention. The issue of in-custody deaths has been at great cost to our county, as you've heard, but the greatest cost is the lives lost. Many of us do volunteer our time, including these families who dedicate hundreds of hours to their cause of justice. You, as supervisors, were elected to do this work of accountability. That is your job. We are collectively asking, begging, even demanding that you heed this report and not just file it away or bury it in a committee. We need action, and we need you as our county leadership to demand change from Riverside sheriffs. Thank you.
Taisha Moody, followed by Tanya Gonzalez.
I thought we had 21 speakers. Okay, well, that makes it 22 on my list.
Good evening, members of the board, supervisor. My name is Taisha Moody.
Can you say your name again? I can't hear it.
Taisha Moody.
Taisha.
I am also part of Justice Families IE. I am the mother of Jaquay Raybon. I am standing here today because my son's life was taken from me, and my family is still waiting for justice. On January 22nd, 2026, around 10 o'clock a.m., maybe 10:03, at the Tyler Shopping Center, my son Jaquay Raybon was gunned down. He was shot 11 times in his back by San Bernardino County Sheriffs in Riverside County, which they crossed their jurisdiction and murdered him. I come here, it's been 5 months. I've come here to ask the board, how is this acceptable? How is it acceptable that a family can lose their loved ones and still be left without answers? How is it acceptable that we are still waiting for the full autopsy report and complete transparency? We are asking who is being held accountable. We have officers that are involved that have not been identified. Our family has been forced to keep fighting for basic information about what happened to my son, Jaquay Raybon. A badge is not a free pass. A uniform does not put someone above accountability. If the laws were broken, there must be consequences. Jaquay was my son. He was loved. He was a human being. His life mattered. We demand transparency. We demand a release of officers' names. We demand answers about the investigation. We demand accountability. Our family should not have to beg for something that is required of the state to give to us. My son's autopsy report should not say cause of death is the cause of. My son's autopsy report should not say that cause of death is pending, because we all know what they did to him. No, we just ask for justice and accountability, please.
Tanya Gonzalez, and Tanya will be our last speaker.
I have asked once, twice, please do not shout from the.
Tell me that I cannot say my daughter's name, Elisa Serna. Justice for justice.
We didn't say that.
You're not going to shut me up when it comes to my children, okay? Or our children. How dare you? How dare you? Shame. Shame. Justice for Elisa Serna. Justice for Lisa. Justice for Lisa.
Justice for Jaquay.
Tanya, please proceed.
Good morning, Tanya Gonzalez from District 5 in opposition to the Stone Ridge rezone.
So last time that I was here, I was pretty much going over the chart of the struggling families. 58% are non-struggling, but then when you look at the quality of jobs within this region, there's only 26%. So usually, as I've gone through other reports, 30% are commuters that have to go down to either LA County or to Orange County to get that quality job, and then they drive back up every single day. And 17% is promising jobs, which is about 5 to 10 years they will be able to then have a quality job. And going over what is a quality job, there's pretty much 7 vital conditions for it per this report. I've gone over the housing, how at least within this county compared to the neighboring counties, it is much more affordable. Lifelong learning, which we've gone over education. This county compared to Orange County stands toe and toe when it comes down to the education. Basic needs for health and safety, I've gone over that as well when it comes down to, comparing it to LA County, probably not Orange County because it's a little smaller, so it's easier to maintain chaos. But you compare it to the other counties, San Bernardino, LA, it is a safer county all around. And then you have your reliable transportation, which we don't need to go over that because the 91 is always jammed. We all seem to have cars. We all seem to be able to transport day to day. And then comes in the thriving natural world, which is what a lot of the county has. It's a lot of open land, a lot of places that we're able to go and walk and diffuse and take away a lot of aggravation that we may be holding within. And then comes in last is the meaningful work, which is kind of what we're going over, the rezoning from housing to logistics is that meaningful work that we're going to get out of it. And as I've gone over before, there is not a lot of benefit to logistics. It's very, very few compared to what you're going to be taking away. And in the workforce, it just pretty much shows that there is a lot of people that even though they only have the high school diploma, they do have the knowledge and skills and ability to pursue a quality job. That's kind of where I fall under. I just ended up getting my high school diploma through independent studies, but thankfully I was able to get an opportunity to be able to into project management that allowed me to get the skills that I needed, which kind of shows off of the graph where the high school diploma, 88% have the skills versus your bachelor's degrees, it's only 91%. And so we go into what kind of opportunities can we really get as far as, instead of logistics, is there other opportunities that the county can look into so that be able to provide a good type of structure for quality?
Thank you so much.
That was our last speaker.
Okay. Supervisor Medina, you pushed your button. Are you ready for comments? Ready. You're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank all the 22 speakers who came to give public comments. I'm looking at the $2 bill, the back of it, and the signing of the Declaration of Independence that gives us, along with the Bill of Rights, the right to do what we do here every couple of months, every twice a month, and that is to meet, to speak, to bring up, to bring to government what is on the minds of the citizens. So I, as always, take this very seriously, and again, want to commend all the speakers who spoke in public comments. And I want to thank especially those who came out this morning to speak regarding the grand jury report of May 7th, the Riverside County Civil Grand Jury Report of May 7th. After a decade of recorded deaths in county jails, the community deserves transparency through oversight. As I read the report, I found the report to be professional, dispassionate, and apolitical. I could not think of a more professional, thorough report than what the grand jury produced on May 7th and made public. I want to share that as we approach July 29th, the 1 year when we deliberated here regarding sheriff oversight, that as we approach that 1 year mark, I want to, for the public record, put out that I, working with my colleagues, intend to revisit that decision and taking the grand jury report as a starting point, bring back to this Board of Supervisors that we take very seriously what is inside the grand jury report, and that before July 29th, I will bring that forward working with my colleagues. Thank you.
Since this is our comment period, is that all your comments then?
I will have a board report.
That's
just like
the time now.
Oh, I thought I was commenting on.
No, this is the comment.
On,
That's fine.
On the.
Finish your rest of your.
All right. I don't usually make comments on public comments, but I felt like I needed to this time. So I was just wanting to
Why
make
don't you
comment on public
start the board comments?
If I could be later, if you don't mind.
Sure. Supervisor Perez.
All right. This struggle of an oversight committee and struggles regarding our jail system did not just happen a year ago. I remember bringing this up years ago. It was a 1-4 vote. And we weren't ready for it at the time. I mean, folks in the community probably they were, but I know folks here in the dais weren't. We didn't have the data. We didn't have a grand jury report. But I did understand that there was a need. Over the course of time, I learned that maybe I jumped the gun, and I should have had these conversations with not only my colleagues, but as well RSA, sheriff deputies. Not necessarily the sheriff, but the sheriff deputies. Many of the sheriff deputies live among us. They're our friends, our neighbors, our brothers, our sisters, uncles, aunts. So many of them, folks that we even grew up with. So once again, this is not necessarily about placing blame, but this is about correcting an injustice. Now, I do look forward to furthering this conversation, however, only when we're actually sitting at the table with our sheriff deputies. Because that's the only way we're going to bring balance. And we gotta make sure that we have a discussion between all the entities. Yes, we definitely do need an oversight committee, but what does that look like? What's that going to be consisting of? How are we going to choose the individuals? How are you going to pay for it at the end of the day? How long is it going to last? We know what we have now doesn't work. That's for sure. Been told that many times. So, those questions need to be addressed, in my opinion, before we even start unraveling this issue. And my hope is that we can really get into it and have some of those questions answered. Not everything, maybe, but some of those questions answered, in which the people that need to be at the table are at the table. Because if the people are not at the table, meaning the public, as well as deputies, as well as us, maybe even Mr. Hestrin, maybe even the sheriff, I don't know. But we need to have folks at the table to be able to discuss this in an honorable way, with integrity and with good faith. Decisions are going to be made. Some people are going to win, some people are going to lose, some people are not going to like it, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. It is what it is. But there's one thing that's correct. That grand jury report was well written. And I agree with that. So I look forward to having further conversation, specifically, once again, with RSA, specifically the union leader, chair, because I think that he is very much open-minded to having this type of conversation. With that said, folks, I appreciate you all being here too, although I will say this, because of the fact that we have every right to voice our concern does not mean we have a right to not respect decorum. It does not mean that we have a right to disrespect the process of policymaking and shout out at people or names and things of that nature. It happens too much already. We see enough of that on TV. You want to see more of that, then go watch TV. But you don't need to bring that here. I'm in front of you. I don't need to be yelled at. Nobody wants to get yelled at. As a matter of fact, when we're not willing to do that, when we're willing to talk to each other, we actually get things done. I'm willing to listen more. As opposed to, okay, same person going to tell me what he thinks or she thinks I should be doing and yelling at me. I'm going to turn it off right now. So just so that you all know that you're going to get further and beyond by obviously respecting the fact that you have a voice. We respect the fact you have a voice, but respecting the process. That's important too. I have a slide real quick. National Women Veterans Recognition Day Tribute Dinner. I want to just state that we had this wonderful event like we had it here on June 12th back home at American Legion. That American Legion Post 739. I love that place. I like hanging out there. It's really cool. Those veterans, they've been there for quite some time. I can go there and, they're barbecuing it up or having hot dogs and burgers and watching football and watching baseball and, or having just a good time. But this was a real nice event. And obviously, because of the fact that this was the second annual Women Veterans Recognition Day, and it was a tribute dinner. And by the way, there was a lot of folks there, and especially from different departments, which was great. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. And one last point, ABC Recovery Center, our campus expansion. This place right here is deep down in my heart. Recovery is real. I'm going through recovery. I don't mind saying that. I don't mind saying that I'm 3 years sober. And I feel good about it. And quite frankly, there's a lot of people who do struggle with it. But this recovery center has done a lot of good for many people, including members of my own family, dating back to uncles and cousins. And it's just amazing how this place even began as a little house with a couple and starting this about 50 years ago. Actually, it was the very first nonprofit organization in the Coachella Valley. And now they're expanded so much and grown so much that they service quite a bit of people. These folks are definitely in the trenches. And I want to thank Chris, our executive director, the board, and also the individuals that continuously support ABC Recovery Center. Now the expansion includes 7 new buildings, 120 treatment beds, and the list goes on and on here, folks. But bottom line, I just want to say congratulations to ABC Recovery. They deserve the best. Thank you.
Supervisor Washington.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have some slides. I've narrowed this down to just a handful of events I'd like to highlight, and appreciate Supervisor Perez's comments regarding decorum as well as comments regarding oversight, and I'm more than happy to have that conversation with him. What you see are pictures of a gathering where a trail and a bench designating that trail as the staff sergeant Louis Cardin Trail. And the significance of it was that Staff Sergeant Louis Cardin gave his life in defense of his country. And he was a native son. I grew up in Temecula and went to the same high school that my daughter and son-in-law went to, Chaparral High School. And so there was a sort of personal meaning as well, along with the fact that he was serving proudly as a Marine, again, when he paid the ultimate sacrifice. The next slide shows some of us gathering. This was at Peltzer Winery. It was an event that they hosted to raise money for Oak Grove Center, which is in Murrieta, which is a safe place for children at risk, youth at risk, special needs youth. And a number of young people came together with some support from adults to showcase their musical talents. And it was very impressive. We were excited to be there representing not only my district, but also just because these are friends from our community. So we appreciated the gathering. The next slide is also honoring a veteran, Chief Warrant Officer Eric Howe, who defended the consulate in Panama and against a brutal attack some years ago. And most recently here, he was recognized by the current congressional or congressman, I should say. And so Temecula wanted to gather at their city hall to recognize a resident, a veteran, someone who put his life on the line to defend other Americans and to carry out his duty as a Marine and what his responsibility was on his assignment in Panama. It was very heartwarming. Lots of very nice plaques and certificates and speeches were made to honor him, and I think he truly felt how much love and appreciation there was for him in the room. And then lastly, I attended the end of the 22nd annual Safety Town program put on by Rotary, in this case, the Temecula Sunrise Rotary, and it was held at a local elementary school in Temecula. And my office prepared certificates to hand out for the children. And man, the energy level in that room was so high. Yeah, as kids, they got to drive around. They have like a pedal vehicle that they drove through a town that Rotary created. And through that exercise, they were taught safety lessons that might someday save their lives. And we happened to have a kindergartner who just promoted to first grade. We laughed when he came home one day to share with us that he had found out what he needed to dial if there was an emergency. And we said, well, what is that? And he said, 911. And so we had to correct him and fix it. And he's good with 911 now. But all these kids all yelled that out at the end. There were 7 or 8 rules that they had learned, things to do to keep yourself safe. And I kind of felt much like the swim lessons that our Riverside County First 5 pays for many families. It gives young people the tools so that when adults aren't around, they have the wherewithal to save themselves. And I was so excited to be there. And I was able to dress casually.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Got my chucks on, my jeans. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. It was a good day. So anyway, those are my comments. Thank you.
Supervisor Gutierrez.
I was looking at Supervisor Medina to see if he's going to go before me, but it's fine. Okay. No, I appreciate the comments that all my colleagues made, including Supervisor Medina, Supervisor Washington, Supervisor Perez. I think decorum is essential. I think that, as was mentioned earlier, you can really get a lot further if you are very respectful. I think people kind of shut you out if you're not. At least that's how I am and how I react to things. And so I do truly hope that, at our next board meeting, that people can be, more respectful. I think that's very, very essential. I think that in terms of the comment that was made about oversight, many of our county departments have oversight. I'm not opposed to oversight, never have been. In fact, our planning department has oversight. Animal Services has an oversight committee. Our auditor's office does oversight that we just established, which, by the way, we adopted it because of the grand jury's recommendation. So we do take the grand jury's recommendations seriously. But one thing that I just wanted to mention that many of those have in common is that the rank and file staff and the staff and the experts are also part of those committees. And so I think if we were to have that kind of discussion moving forward, I would support something, but as long as the rank and file, and it's a balanced approach, I think that's very, very important. Okay, with that, I'd like to just put my little slides. I only have 3. Okay, little slides, yeah. Okay, I know. All right, okay. So the Jan Peterson Child Center, this was a really amazing event. I know Supervisor Washington is, I believe you're the chair of the First Five this year, right? Or, okay, yeah, so he's the chair. And so one of the things that First Five does is they contribute money to different CBOs and nonprofits that want to build childcare facilities. They receive this money through the tobacco tax, and this was an example of them putting some money aside to expand to 2 new buildings at the Jan Peterson Child Development Center in Moreno Valley. I also allocated $1 million from my ARPA funding as well, and so it was great to finally see this project open. This was about, projects take several years, unfortunately. So this took about 2 years in the making, maybe even longer, from the time that I put in the money. So I'm glad to see that opened up. Okay, next slide. We also attended 2 movie nights. I did 2 movie nights. One was in Nuevo, the one on the left side. And that was really nice. And we showed the original Toy Story movie, and the public really, really loves these. You have to understand that in the unincorporated communities, they don't have movies at the park or rocks, live music and things like that. So we're trying to do that in our unincorporated communities as much as possible. And we're also still supporting some cities with sponsorships for these types of events. The one on the right was the Incredibles movie, and this one was in Beaumont. This was an actual event that we hosted with the Beaumont Cherry Valley Parks District, and it was so nice to see so many people. We had about 150 folks that actually came out, and it was really shocking because I didn't think many people were going to come out, because as I was driving from the 60 freeway, it really looked like Dante's Peak, the movie, and because of the fire. The fire that was going on around there. But everybody was out there just having a great time with the community. So that was really nice. Next slide. Last slide. We had our 3rd annual D5 Summer Bash. And this is a little festival that we kind of throw in the Hemet San Jacinto area for the community there. And we had the Eagles Tribute Band come out. And they performed, and we had so many people dancing to the live music. We have some better ones, where you can see everything, but we had about almost 1,000 people that attended that event. And I want to thank the county departments that came, including RTA, probation, CHP, everybody that was out there. We also had laser tag for the kids, jumpers, and rock climbing too. And they had an amazing time. Our sheriff deputies, they were all there too, kind of supporting the kids and families. And And then we also received donations from different organizations to do raffles. So this was a really nice community event, and that's it for me.
You ready now?
Yeah, what's the surprise?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm ready. And if I could have my slides, please, Ron. On June 10th, my staff and I visited Riverside County Purchasing and Fleet Services to learn more about their operation and the essential role that they play in supporting county services. I want to thank their dedicated team for their commitment to serving Riverside County. Next slide. On June 13th, my office partnered with Keep Riverside Clean and Beautiful for a community cleanup in High Grove. Together, we removed approximately 7,000 pounds of litter and green waste, and I want to thank all the volunteers who showed up, to my team, and to Keep Riverside Clean and Beautiful. We're going to do a second event back in High Grove and University City in the fall when it's not so hot. The next slide. On June 17th, I toured the future Wellness Village in Mead Valley. I had the tour with Mayor Vargas, and the two of us had the opportunity to see the progress being made on this important project, and we all look forward to its completion and the positive impact it will have on all of our residents. And last slide. On June 18th, I toured CAL FIRE with Chief Robert Fish and learned more about the critical work being done to protect our communities. We were also joined by Congressman Mark Takano, who presented the chief with a check from the federal government in the amount of $800 and I believe $50,000. Want to thank the chief and his entire team for their dedication to public safety and service. And that's my report. Thank you.
Did you want to address Langworthy's real quick on that comment? They're still here.
Happy to do it yes, thank you, Chair. Just want to reiterate in terms of the issue that are raised by REIT and Mr. and Mrs. Langworthy. I just want to make it clear because the issue seems to be conflated somewhat. There's no dispute as to the requested documents or public records, and they will be released when the records are available. Consistent with prior election years, we release all requested records, but only after the OV, the registrar, has a chance to verify them. We are definitely making sure that Mr. Langworthy and Mrs. Langworthy, along with REIT members, are all having the same access right as any other members of the public. No more, no less. So again, the point here is trying to make sure that yes, they will have it, but when they are available, the records are available. We're not going to do the piecemeal like we did in prior years, because the danger of doing the releasing in piecemeal or in batches is that it can be confusing to the public because not all the numbers are tally up. So we want to make sure that we do it right, do it in a complete batch. And I would advise that Mr. and Mrs. Langworthy, along with any other member of the public, if they want to see those records, please coordinate it with the OV's office to do it. Thank you.
Madam Chair, may I compliment my 5th District colleague on your contribution, ARPA funding, to the child care facility. It's an important community component, as well as an important component of a thriving economy. When we give everyone in the household the opportunity to seek employment while leaving their children at a safe child care facility. And I think the fact that you're making those same investments, we've done that in my district as well. We want that all throughout our county. So just wanted to compliment you.
So I'll add to that. One of my comments will be is that we opened Lakeland Village Child Care Center with a ribbon cutting. So it was an incredible opening and long overdue, and community that really needs more child care access for our constituents there. And it's also First Five, obviously, and FSA. I saw that Cheryl Marie was at yours. So it seems to be a very common thread on their ability to do many of our facilities and do a great job at it. So it was very, very well attended and a lot of great work that was done. I also wanted to mention, had an event for Flag Day. It was kind of an interesting, the city of Corona did it with the fire department. Don't often get people recognizing, but it's an official day, Flag Day. So that was kind of really enjoyed that part. Another thing that wasn't mentioned was WRCOG. And WRCOG is Western Riverside County Council of Governments. And Supervisor Washington was there, and Supervisor Gutierrez was there. So we had had the opportunity to hear a speaker, Tony Hawk. I couldn't think Tony. If anybody doesn't know who he is, he was a skateboarder back in the 90s and made skateboarding really a big deal. So I knew of him through my kids, and they had all the little games and stuff on the computer stuff. We also had our employee giving campaign coordinator breakfast. Our employee giving campaign, we don't have a final number yet, has done really well this year, and look forward to kicking off next year. We have our landmark luncheon coming up. But you know, those fact that we really, as a unified organization, really work hard. And the employee giving is by choice of our employees to make contributions out of either a weekly or a paycheck week regular deduction for specific nonprofits and fundraising for some nonprofits. So it's been a very active year this year. So I've really enjoyed it. Look forward to continuing next year. And two things that are coming up, I'm inviting everybody to, is that the Chamber of Commerce in Corona is having Taste of Corona on June 27th, this Saturday, at Dos Lagos. So if you want to come and have a little fun food and drink of all the opportunities, or many of the opportunities in Corona, come join the Chamber at the Taste of Corona. And then before that, we have a Veterans Barbecue Luncheon for if anybody, veterans are welcome, and it's through the Corona Veterans Center, which is in the heart of Corona. So I just wanted to invite everybody for those two. I won't address, I thank you, my colleagues, for addressing some of the outbursts in the audience. It's not that we don't want to say their names. We do say the names. Attend the victims' rights events where we do that. The whole program is about saying names, but there is, as you said earlier, a time and a place. And it just is sometimes very challenging to try and hear people talking with snapping of the fingers. I know they're trying to share that they're supporting what's being said, but I have a hard time hearing when you have all the snapping of the fingers or clapping or noise making what people are talking. It's not necessarily rude to those of us up here as much as it is to someone trying to speak. So it's their time, their 3 minutes. And with that, we will move on to Mr. Van Wagenen. Now that the budget's passed, you can breathe?
Until the next meeting.
Well, we do have a break, so. Does anybody have any memorials? You have yours, yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to ask that we adjourn in memory of David Wilmot. David was a longtime Riverside leader whose contributions helped shape the community for decades. David dedicated much of his life to public service, from serving in our country's U.S. Army to becoming a respected voice in public affairs and civic leadership here in Riverside. He was deeply connected to the University of California at Riverside and was a tireless advocate for public higher education. He believed strongly that educational opportunity creates stronger communities and a better future for all. Throughout his career, Dave worked alongside many of the leaders and institutions that helped build Riverside into the community we know today. He was always guided by service, integrity, and a commitment to the public good. On behalf of Riverside County and District 1, I want to extend my condolences to his family, friends, and all those who were touched by his life and legacy. May he rest in peace.
Thank you. Does anybody else have a memorial? Okay, Mr. Trent.
Thank you, Chair. The board has need to meet in closed session for the items listed at the bottom of the agenda. We do not anticipate any reportable action today. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you for attending.
Supervisor, what time do we want to meet in closed session?
I guess you need to re-close. Oh, what time? Oh,